B&A Petroleum. Fuel you once, fuel you forever.
Proven by countless farmers, 900 Series fence sprayers set the standard for your crops, and it's available at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Featuring 370 horsepower, 132-foot boom, 1,580-gallon tank, smart drive four-wheel steering, and liquid logic recirculating boom, the 900 Series fence sprayers are backed by a 3-year, 2,000-hour Gold Star warranty. Leaders drive Fendt. To learn more about making your crops successful, visit Nick's Service today. nickservice.com.
Been there, done that. We get it. And we've got something great for you. The Great Bin Giveaway on 620 CKRM. We're giving you the chance to win a 100-ton fertilizer bin from Core Grain. All you have to do is be listening to find out which sponsor locations you can enter at, all across southern Saskatchewan. You'll also have some chances to qualify during Saskatchewan Today with Ryan Young. The grand prize draw will take place at Ag in Motion this July. Don't miss out on your chance to have a shot at the Great Bin Giveaway.
Brought to you by Ag Direct Hail Insurance, Zipperlock Building Company, McDougall Auctioneers, Redvers Agricultural Supply, and 620 CKRM.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products, proudly serving Saskatchewan for over 70 years. Visit rnpchevrolet.com today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
It's a Sports Cage on Wednesday. Oiler fans, how you feeling? Maybe more importantly, Leaf fans, how are you feeling? Both teams played tonight in the NHL. What a time to be alive. PGA Championship starts tomorrow. Rider training camp underway up in Saskatoon. We got new hockey teams in Moosomin. Show's awesome today. It is for RMP. Thanks to them. I was driving by the RMP lot the other day, looking at some of those trucks. Hoochie mama. Nice stuff. We're going to go up to training camp here in about 4 minutes' time. The fellas are waiting. We will hear from one of the organizers of the new junior team in Moosomin, Saskatchewan. Also in hour one. Eric Francis in hour two. More training camp from up in Saskatoon. And then Patrick Mayo in hour three. Talking PGA Championship. Does he give a couple of sneaky bets? I wrote him down because he was talking about him on social media. We're going to talk about that. And we're talking like cake. Big long shots. Huge long shots. I got a co-host. First off, CNC are here, but they're doing opposite jobs. The Bizarro world. So Colson's doing Curtis's usually job, and Curtis is doing Colson's job. So no idea how this will go. Hot mic all day. I am not saying anything off air that I shouldn't because I don't trust you guys. I will be. How's it? Are you guys comfortable? You both look like you're sweating over there.
Very not comfortable, but I really always wanted to run a radio show, Barney. I just went up to Big John, boss man. I was like, listen, I want to drive this bus.
Mm-hmm.
So now I am.
Did he say start with reading weather?
I didn't talk to John about that, but maybe next time.
We'd love to hear from you, whether it's just tomfoolery or you do have questions about rider training camp or anything, or maybe you have a comment, opinion on the NHL playoffs. Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262, where Husqvarna days are on right now. They got up to 20% off what you need. They bought before the tariffs. Anything for the yard, zero-turn mowers, lawn mowers, chainsaws. Deal with the owner, 600 Albert Street. They've been there since 1986, helping people out. My co-host today. Greg is back from the Piffles podcast. It's been a while, staying style. Excited? Is this an exciting time for you, even though training camp is up in Saskatoon?
Always is. It's you can feel it on social media, and even in walking around the city, people are buzz again because of the Riders, and especially this year, considering most of the pundits have the Riders, if not Grey Cup favorites, definitely winning the West favorites.
I can echo that because I think when I was walking to the gym earlier, a guy was yelling at me across the street in downtown Regina here, so I think he was excited for the Riders. I couldn't make out what he was saying, but he did look like a fan. You know what? When's the last time anybody in this room, before I'm going to ask this to Dave and Luke too, a little bit off the sideways here on Rider Camp. When's the last time you gave blood for blood work?
It's been a year.
It's been a minute. Probably the last time I gave blood was when I was in school. Would always do the blood drive at school, and then drinks were really cheap all of a sudden, you know.
They give you Tang.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, you're even too young to remember McDonald's orange drink.
Oh, I remember that.
Oh, wasn't that good? Why'd they ever get rid of that? They gave it out for free. Coulson, I don't even know if you can know how to turn that mic on. Do you know? There we go. When's the last time you gave blood work? Blood.
The last time I tried to. Hold on. I gotta push other buttons. I forgot. There we go. Last time I tried to, and I forgot that I had just gotten vaccinated, so I couldn't actually, because you can't give it after freshly giving vaccine or getting vaccinated and stuff. So this is also when I was in school, so long time ago.
I gotta say, everybody, and it's usually the elderly people, which, hey, I'm no spring chicken either, but good on you guys for that rush to the lineup at Life Labs North McCarthy this morning. I set the alarm for 6:20. I was up before. Sun was up, slinked out of the house like a ninja. Get to the parking lot, and I'm like, oh,
it's cutthroat.
There's no one here. And I'm like, I'm going to be first in line. Now, I wore sweatpants and a hoodie. Didn't dress for... The wind was making it probably feel like -1. So, but now I'm pot committed. You got 45 minutes. I get my headphones out. I start walking to the door from the parking lot. And this lady, she gets out of her, I think it was a Impala, late model Impala. And she's got her motor on. Like speed walking, Olympic sport. Canada's represent, and she is going right for the door, and I'm like, go and get it, go and get that, and I'm like, I'm gonna be second, which was probably going to be 4 minutes different. So she stands in line, back to me, put my headphones in, hood up, so we're not really paying attention, right? Listening to some sports talk radio. When they cracked those doors at 7:30, not a minute earlier. I was freezing with a lot of people. One guy wore short pants. Michael Bolton. I'm out. He was about 10 minutes in the There was probably 30 people deep in line.
Yeah.
And those older people, the veterans, experienced in this game, elbows up. Good on you guys. Really, really good. I hate that fasting thing. Obviously, diet isn't the greatest, but that not eating between 7 and 7 is for the birds. Wasn't intermittent fasting, is that still a big thing? Or
still a thing.
Are we on to the carnivore diet full-fledged now? Because I'm just on social media. It was like Atkins. I grew up with Slim Fast. I'm staying with Slim Fast. That's from your era too, is it?
I remember my parents getting the old
2 shakes a day.
The old can, got their little shaker bottles. Yeah, pounding that back.
2 shakes a day. Let's go. Hey, look at people on the text line loving that you're back, Greg. And you put on some miles today with your regular job, didn't you?
The other day job has me all over across Saskatchewan tour. I've been to Coronach, Radville, up over to Hodgeville.
Wow. Should have a hot shot service while you're at it.
May as well. Make
Double
some side
dip.
money. Yeah, make some side money.
Western Pizza tonight. It's raining. Weather's not great. It's a Western Pizza lasagna night. If there was ever a Western Pizza lasagna night, it is tonight. Or you can just get a pie. Any of the Greek favorites you like. Call your local Western Pizza. Let's go out and talk to the fellas in Saskatoon. Rough Rider training camp. And our training camp reports are for the Red Zone Sports Bar behind the Saskatoon Travel Lodge. That's where they're at. Dave's wearing short pants, if you're watching the stream. Must not be that cold up there.
Beautiful, sunny, hot day. Like, if I had a pool, I would have had a party today.
Say that again, because we didn't have you potted up. 3, 2, and 1.
Take 2. Basically, it was beautiful, sunny, and warm today, and if I had a pool, I would have had a party.
And it's raining in Regina. Is that what's happening?
It is raining in here, Pitbull.
Dolly?
Jeez, that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate. Yeah.
If you're watching the stream right now, and if you squint, you think Dave is next to Pitbull.
Mr. Worldwide.
I think it's a statement.
I asked Dave.
I think it looks good.
I say, hey man, what do I go with here? Sunglasses or none? And he said sunglasses. So I'm listening to the voice of the Riders on this one, guys.
I didn't say you look bad. I think it looks actually pretty boss.
Trust me. I know I don't look bad. Trust me.
When's the last time you gave blood?
The reason, wow, I can't. There's nobody in this world is AM alpha male. It just doesn't happen.
Oh! Wow.
When's the last time you gave blood, Dave?
Sorry. I didn't realize that we were passing that around. A couple of months ago, I think, somewhere in there. It was before winter.
Did you have to go in the morning? Did you go in the morning?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Who doesn't?
Elbows up?
Oh, look at me. Do you think I'm going to go ahead and miss a meal? Like, if I don't have to? Like,
yeah,
the killer for me is coffee. Now,
what's the ruling? If I would have had popcorn with my daughter last night at watching a little bit of Western Hockey League playoffs, about 9:30, and I'm like, nope, Dad. And she's like, nope, Dad can't, Mom. Mom brought home some carrot cake, too. Ooh, that's dangerous. What's the ruling there? If I have popcorn, let's say 10, do I go give blood at like 11 or 10?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah?
Hold on a second, guys. I'm pretty sure that the whole don't give blood before or eat before you get. I'm pretty sure that's the same as you can't go swimming after eating for 30 minutes. Like, let's just cut it out, okay? Just give the blood. You don't have
You're
to
the
worry
pool
about
expert.
what you're eating and stuff. I'm just saying. I've eaten a lot of barbecue before, gone right in the pool, and I haven't sunk. So I think it's the same applies for this. I think you can just go give the blood.
I think the bloodstream and how everything works in the body is different than going swimming. I think. Like if you crush
I
some,
don't think that we should sit on here and act like we know anything past basic Band-Aid application.
When did this become the science cage?
Yeah. Well, let's get into it. Slim Fast or carnivore diet? Which way you guys? Which way? Just kidding. We'll move on. Training. Hey, the big news that I saw today, and first off, Zaire released by the it was that came a little bit left field for me.
Oh, let's go through it. 7 players were released today. Noah Zaire, veteran offensive lineman, of course, 3 years, 3 teams. He's played out east, played with BC and, of course, with Saskatchewan. So he was released today, as was global punter Joe Coach. Again, Joe, I thought, would have an opportunity with Adam Korsak retiring in the offseason. You bring Kellan Laybourne in. Now, again, if you go on the internet, he actually has 3 different pronunciations for his name. So I was looking forward to getting to figure that one out, but unfortunately I won't get an opportunity. And that one surprised a little bit because, of course, he was with Ottawa last year. Didn't have huge stats, but again, I thought that he was coming in to kind of supplement A.J. Ouellette in the absence of Frankie Hickson. Then you've got Ty James, who did quite well in rookie camp. Justin Jefferson, the defensive lineman, who was the one that kind of started the brouhaha yesterday.
Great word.
Yeah.
Great word.
So the brouhaha.
I told you, man.
So yeah, those are the 7 guys that were released and then transferred to the suspended list. Julius Bulow, who was the other guy that was part of the brouhaha, and then you have the national linebackers Jordan and Justin Herdman-Reed.
Wow. Noah Zaire. We talked about this on day one when we were in here together, Dave, is that there was going to be a couple O linemen that played a ton of snaps for the Saskatchewan Roughriders last year that weren't going to be on the team this year. It was evident. There's a lot of guys and there's a lot of talent on that. So I wasn't surprised there. Kellan Laybourne, I wasn't surprised either because I really like that Penix kid. What's his first name?
Trent Penix.
Trent Penix. Also number 29. Sorry, I'm doing my Charles Barkley here and just reading from the notes. Mario Anderson. So Trent Penix and Mario Anderson I really like. And I think that there's a lot there to be determined. So why not free up those reps for those two guys? Keep in mind, they're probably also looking for guys that have return capacity behind Mario Alford, right? So I think that you definitely need to free up some reps there. And then who else was released? I don't think there should have been any other surprises either. This is training camp, right? We're there for the time you do all the team gelling and stuff. That comes after camp. Right now, you got to be hired assassins.
Well, and I didn't mention
for yourself.
Defensive back Nicario Harper as well, right? So he signed in the offseason, has some experience out of college and of course in the States, but just didn't get a lot of reps. And again, I don't know if I don't want to say not surprised, but I'm just going to say he didn't stand out as much as some of the other newer defensive backs have.
Yeah, you got to be careful with those American defensive backs, especially the ones that where did Nicario Harper go to school? Anyways, the guys that go to the schools and play a lot in the States, it's a real different feel when you've got a waggle rule that allows you a wide receiver to just go at full speed at a DB, right, to the line of scrimmage. Even if that wide receiver is considered slow to a DB, when you get a 10-yard jump at the snap with a football, that alters the way you play, regardless of how much you played in college or even in the NFL. So I think that it was a good reminder for folks. Hey, I'm here to make the team. Right? Yeah. And whenever you see releases, guys are bummed out for a couple minutes, but then they start thinking about themselves and what they got to do again. So it gets the energy level back up.
Fighting Illinois.
Yeah, the Illini.
Yeah.
Illini, yeah.
Illini, yeah, that's right. Sorry. What did I say, Illinois?
Well, that's big-time football, right?
Yeah,
And normally you're like, you see the guys from Georgia come in, you see guys from those big schools in the Power 5 conferences. And again, you always have to remember there's a ton of nuances, regardless of what position you play in the Canadian Football League, that guys, despite some cool tenure, it's hard to catch on.
Speaking of reminders, that fight between Jefferson and Bulow yesterday, Corey Mace last year basically said they aren't going to put up with that extracurricular stuff. Do you think this sends the message now that everyone will get it now that they send Jefferson packing?
Well, if you don't get the message, I'm not sure what's got to hit you in the face, right? Like a dude starts a fight and the next thing you know, he's released. The other guy's suspended. So
see, to me, what I will put in, though, is that the start of that, right, was when he came through the line. And again, I don't know how big of a blow it was on Jake Mayer, but it was contact, right? And you don't contact the quarterbacks. And when that gets the ire of your leadership group, like A.J. Ouellette, like Trevor Harris coming into that fray, obviously that's touched a tone. And you're right? Like, end of the day, this is the result.
Yeah, but look, like, wow, you proved you're you proved you're a tough guy, and now look at you. You're deciding what you want to drink on WestJet and whether you're in an aisle seat. So I don't see that. There's no absolutely zero. There's zero to gain from being a training camp tough guy. And by the way, if you're a defensive player, the no touching the quarterback rule that goes all the way back to college. That's something that you know. So fighting only hurts your chances. And right now there's a young man that's, like I said, that's probably waiting to board because you have to connect on the flights out of Regina, probably in Calgary's airport, waiting to board, regretting everything he did.
Don't we still have the odd direct somewhere? No, I think those started done for the season. Yeah, he does have to do a connector.
Direct to Toronto, but that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you probably connect him to wherever.
Okay, Coach Mace. You guys ready? We have Coach Mace talking about today's roster moves.
The whole roster, we knew that there was going to be some really tough decisions every cut down, and yesterday was exactly the same. We really like our depth, man, at a lot of the positions. So I don't want to say that there's one specific spot. That's why we put everybody on notice.
And then the next one is kind of what we talked about at the start. He talks about the tough decision they made, including Noah Zaire.
Yeah, and I wanted to be very clear about that. It's a production-based biz, and these decisions are going to come, and it's going to be tough on us. But we feel we have really good depth, and we think highly of Noah still, man. It was just a tough one, man. It's just how it rolled for us. But I think Noah's a good player, man, and how this game rolls. You know what I mean? I'm sure he won't be waiting too long somewhere.
And you could tell how these decisions weighed on Coach Mace. As a matter of fact, his dad is actually at training camp right now, and he said to me, those are the toughest days. He can see it in his son without actually having to talk to his son about it. So the other part of the day that was difficult today, though, was on the offensive line, as we've already got our first injury. As Sean McEwen, of course, we signed him as a free agent out of Calgary to come in and center the offensive line, and he watched from the north end zone with a pair of crutches sitting beside the chair that he was sitting on, and Coach Mace updated us on his status.
Just with his leg, he was doing some of the one-on-ones, and he did some stuff in Indian stuff. It didn't sit well with him. So we just want to make sure that we get the looks at it and make sure we get a better, cleaner idea of what's going on.
Well, you can never have too many offensive linemen. We got T-shirts. They're coming. Sportscage logo on them. Yeah, that's unfortunate, though. So early.
It's the only confidence or positive I think that you can take from McEwen's injury is they've already talked about the depth that they have there at the offensive line spot. There's a ton of guys, but more importantly, you look at last year and the rotation of offensive linemen that was forced upon Coach Edwin Harrison, and he always got guys ready to play. So I think that they'll be okay, but it is a massive loss, right? Sean McEwen's one of the best centers in the league when he's healthy. So hopefully that ends up being just something that keeps him out of camp for a couple days.
And what we saw was Zach Fry taking a rotational spot along with Philippe Gagnon. Of course, Zach, a draft pick of the Riders, was here last year, was one of the guys that went down with injury. Gagnon played with Montreal, had a season in Ottawa before returning to the Alouettes. So, and we've, of course, had him on the Sports Cage here. But all in all, though, again, we put all of this behind us and everything that has gone on. Coach Mason and the entire staff go through the video each and every night. And we ask them every day, hey, how do you think you looked? Well, I asked him for an opinion of how he believes his team looks when they go back and watch that video.
I think there's just different spots all around, Dave. I think right now I'm really excited about how our offense is moving the ball in the run game. All of our quarterbacks are seeing it real nice. Our receivers are running great routes. I think defensively, throwing a little bit more on their plate and how they're handling that, it looks really good. The standard that we have for, causing and creating turnovers, those are still there. I'm just pleased with the level that we wanted to walk into camp with, the second time around, and everybody was willing to take that step, and we're putting it out there each day.
Obviously, no one wants to see. Go ahead, Luke.
No, I said you're starting to see those turnovers that he's talking about too. The defensive backs. I mean, Roland Milligan, he's out there. He looks great again. I think Marcus Sales is probably the best guy in camp right now, offense or defense. But you're also getting contributions from young cats. You're looking at, let's see, Antoine Brooks Jr. He had a couple picks today. Yep. I saw him playing well. DeMarcus Fields has caught my eye a little bit as we've gone along. So. Again, from the turnover perspective, you have to like what you're seeing.
And speaking of injuries, they're slow. They're going to be slow with Bain Jr. coming into this season due to his knee injury from last year. Who are some of these new American receivers looking?
Ruby Tuesday.
Well, I don't know if you look at the new American receivers. I think you look at the guys that you have. Dante Myers is having a hell of a camp. He looks great. Kean Schaefer-Baker looks great. You've seen spots from guys like Joe Robustelli. I think that one of the guys, and that's the other thing too, right, is that once you get into day 4, day 5 of camp, now the playbook's starting to get a little bit deeper. So now you're seeing the wide receivers that are new to the team, they're starting to actually slow down a little bit. And the reason why is because they've got a number of plays drawn up now, and those plays have different shifts to them if you're looking at certain looks or blitzes. So as the mental side of camp now starts getting heavy, some of these guys are going to noticeably slow down. So for instance, Braden Missouri, right? He had a couple spectacular catches the other day, didn't really show today. And you can really look at the guys that are starting to think there as they're out on the field. But again, you're also seeing some great separation. Deshaun Mims is having a heck of a camp as well. I keep looking up, and every time I look up, Deshaun Mims is catching a pass. But I would say the guy who's stuck out the most, other than Kean Schaefer-Baker, who you would expect, is probably Dante Myers. And again, the other piece to that puzzle is Keyshawn Johnson. He's come in here just like he looked last year in camp. He's having a solid camp this year, and a guy that I think is going to have a spectacular year.
What are you guys seeing? Obviously, when we see running backs get released, and we talked about Trent Penix, what are you seeing there? Can we compare him to anybody that we've seen in the last few years from your lens, Luke?
I know I'll let Dave get into a comparison. I think Dave has a comparison for you. I don't see any comparison at the moment just because we haven't seen these guys block. I was talking to a buddy there at training camp today, and it was one of the first things he said as well when we were talking about the Penix and Anderson is like, well, we got to see him block. So there's a lot left to be desired there in terms of gathering that information. But again, it looks like Penix and Anderson are really starting to catch on. And another guy who's having a consistent camp, he doesn't blow anybody's mind when he's out there, but he's out there a ton. He's getting a ton of reps, and that is Thomas Bertrand-Ludon. And I love that they're giving him touches because, again, he's a guy that is going to be on the roster for special teams and depth, and he's going to be a guy that may need to close out a couple games regardless of how the American running back depth figures out. So it's nice to see 30 getting a lot of touches.
Yeah, he definitely is. And just for point of comparison, it's interesting to me how Penix will make a run and it'll look really, really great. And then the next time he'll get stopped. So Anderson goes in, he makes a run, and then the next time he gets stopped. And it is just neck and neck with the two. But the one thing that they can both do tremendously well, and even I've noticed A.J. Ouellette doing this more in this camp, catching the football out in the flat. They're making a very concerted effort to make sure that they can catch the ball.
A.J. Ouellette's biggest play today came by catching the ball. And I think you're right. Well, first of all, when you see a running back break a long run, Dave, the D-line, we have our pride, right? So the next time we're going to bow our neck a little bit.
Fair
right?
enough. Yeah,
but also, too, one of the things that you're going to start to see is the differential between the yards gained and possessions because they're starting to work situational football now, right? You had a lot of 1st and 10, you had a lot of 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4 situations. So situational football is now starting to come into play. And again, as when you have a veteran group of defensive players there, especially in all positions, it's your football IQ, right? So if we go in, Coach Mace yells, situational football, we're going this way, team, get the ones up. Well, if it's 1st and 10, that defense out there is going to be looking for the run, right?
Yeah.
So you might get guys getting stocked up, but you have to remember it might not be just he had one run, I guess he's tired or something now. No, it might be the situation that high IQ defensive players are also looking at, right? Where are the sticks and how do we play this?
Switching to the defensive side of the ball, I know one of the big signings the Riders brought in this year was Tevon Campbell, and a lot of fans are wondering, does he still have what he had before he went down south? He hasn't played like live fire football in a long time. How is he looking in camp right now?
Well, last time he was on the field was in August, right? So that was when he was released in the National Football League, and he had some time to contemplate. He's going to be turning 32 next week, or this week, pardon me. So what, Thursday, Friday?
June 14th, it says, is his birthday.
Okay, there you go then. Well, he'll be turning 32, though, right? And
yep.
I talked to him. I said, like, do you feel 32? And he says, no, I really, my body feels good. My mind feels good. And he's in a good spot. He literally decided in this offseason to talk to his family because his family is what powers him. And he said, okay, they decided that this was something that I wanted to do, and I looked at the roster and I evaluated where I could play, and this was the definite landing spot for him. And he hasn't looked out of place. He has done his job well, in my opinion, and I think he's going to be solid in the secondary and another ratio changer.
I think the other thing about this, guys, is just keep on reminding yourself what other studs these guys have, specifically in the secondary, right? Revis is a guy who's going to be able to play in any spot, linebacker or defensive back. Again, Roland Milligan, man, he's just out there doing Agent Zero type things. There was a couple plays today with receivers catching footballs that got the roar of the crowd, but I was sitting up in my spot being like, man, Roland Milligan would have removed that guy's helmet if this was a real game, right? Like he's just on time. His timing's great. Again, I've talked about Marcus Sales, best guy in camp in my opinion right now. DeMarcus Fields having a good camp. Also, again, Antoine Brooks Jr. Don't count him out. I know that, again, this is a hard roster to crack on, especially in the secondary, but Antoine Brooks Jr. looks all right too.
Okay, so we're going to wrap up this hour's training camp report. And in hour 2, Dave, we got to remember to talk about Green and White Day returning to Saskatoon on Saturday. I know you're a big part of that. And it's great to hear about Tavon Campbell because I wanted to ask about that. And Dave, when you said, I asked him if he feels 31, and he says no. I was like, I thought you were going to say, because he's been training with Zach Caleros and Sean Lemon. And I'm like, no, don't say that. Don't say that. Do you get it? Do you get it?
Hey, before you go, I know we got to go. Yeah. But I gotta mention one other guy.
Toronto Maple Leafs?
He's not. No. Don't worry about that. They're winning in a couple hours here. Jack Cohn. Jack Cohn has had a good camp. He's out here throwing the ball. He, in my mind, on that depth chart, he's above Tommy Stevens, okay? And he's right there with Jake Mayer. I really do think that. I think that Jack Cohn, for the reps that he's getting so far, he's pushing guys. And that's a great thing to see.
Let's go into that in hour 2. I'm going to write that down, Luke. And then we'll go more into that, what you're seeing there, what you like, because that's a big statement from you. So we'll talk about that in hour 2. What do you got?
I got a sneaky good one, too. So let me give that one to you after, too. I won't do it now, but I'll just tell you, nothing runs like a Ford.
You guys are beauties.
I would like to point out this is brought up by Regina Motor Products.
Well, why would you have to bring that up?
Great certified pre-owned at Regina Motor Products. I can speak to that firsthand. Go check them out.
There we go. Right on. Smooth, Dave. Smooth. All right, fellas, relax. We'll get back to you in a little bit here. Our training camp reports are brought to you by the Red Zone Sports Bar up in Saskatoon, right behind the Travelodge. That's where the fellas are. Break time. It is the Sportscage streaming. Thanks for hitting the like button and subscribe. Today, Colson is getting paid by the likes, so keep them coming. And as always, we're on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line-X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line-X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line-X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line-X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line-X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
You turn on the tap and expect nice, soft water. But who can you trust to be sure it'll be there? Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. That's who. Call them today to ask about an exceptional limited-time offer on water softener rentals. Remember, they offer North Star water softeners, providing peace of mind from someone you trust. Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Call 522-5866.
It'll be take me out to the ball game or take me down to the rink before you know it. And Extreme Hockey and Sport will have you ready for everything this season. You'll be all set for the Ball Diamond with team kits, bats, gloves, accessories, and training products in stock. And of course, they've got everything to get you geared up for spring hockey. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered. 1425 McIntyre Street and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Kubota tractors are built for those who do, and they've got the power you need to get big jobs done. Right now, save up to $12,000 on select models like the Kubota M7, or take advantage of great financing today. See your Kubota dealer for details.
Saskatchewan, it's time to talk sports. Sportscage is on the air. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. And we're always online at sportscage.com. 620 CKRM.
I got a big shot off this stick of mine. I keep those lanes wide open all the time. Drysidle setting up shop, McDavid's flying. I'll hit the twine when I walk the line.
Yeah, it's game night for you Edmonton Oilers fans. There's a little Dallas from Nelson. Bouchard walks the line. You can find those online. Greg's with me from the Piffles podcast today. Let's talk some hockey here. I cannot believe Vegas could be kaput.
It's hard to believe. Like the run they've gone on since they became a franchise, like it is mind-blowing how good they've been so fast. Don't get me wrong, they got a very good team off the beginning, but I wouldn't count them out though. Like, don't get me wrong, the Oilers are the Oilers, but I don't think they're guaranteed to win tonight.
I thought I saw, fact checkers, that Mark Stone is out tonight. He has been ruled out.
Huge if true.
Something isn't right there. And I don't know if it's Bruce Cassidy, and I've never coached in the NHL nor played, so I don't want to be too critical. But that guy, it seems weird, and they are absolutely loaded when you look at the roster. And they got Big D, and they got the continuity, and then Aiden Hill. Aiden Hill looks like Mark Hill, who used to be my neighbor in the Northwest. Like, nothing against the Oilers. Like, they're missing their best defenseman, arguably their best defenseman, and they look stingy. And they're getting the contributions from the Evander Kanes, the Corey Perrys, Henrique, Frederick.
But that's the thing is, though, you both teams are very good teams. Like, the fact that
I didn't think the Oilers were that good. I thought they were a Fugazi.
Well, they could be, but still, after last year's run, you would think something in that locker room had to change. And yes, there was going to be issues, but now we're in the depth of the playoffs, and the bulk of this team went through that last year. So they don't want to get that close again. It is literally Stanley Cup or bust this year.
Is Mark Stone out? Did you? I thought you were looking that up.
I was. He is listed as doubtful. He was not in the morning skate.
Oh, one of those game time decisions.
Yeah. Well, man, there's going to be a lot of injuries going on, and that's the thing. Again, don't know. Not there. maybe text Cam Moon. He would know. It looks like Draisaitl and McDavid are fairly healthy. Like they haven't really there hasn't been a lot of grease for those guys, and I'm sure there is, and we're not watching it that closely and all that. But compared to some of those other runs where they had the snot beaten out of them in rounds 1 and stuff, they seem like they came through fairly unscathed, which is dangerous, which is very, very dangerous. Break or interview? Okay, these guys want to go to break. I'm wasting too many time. 936-6262. Oiler fans or Oiler haters, I want to hear from you. Do they wrap it up tonight? Speaking of hockey, when we come back, we're going to talk to one of the gentlemen in charge of the new Prairie Junior Hockey League team in Moosomin, Saskatchewan. It is a Sports Cage. We are the home of local sports on 620 CKRM.
You say
move,
and your cows say you tell them
your water is right over there,
and they say you can't convince a cow to move to the water, so move the water to the cows with the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System. With the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System, you can put your pump pretty much anywhere without the cost of hooking up to the grid. Learn more about the Keln Solar Livestock Watering System at kelnsolar.com. Keln Solar, we move water. The deck sale is on at Freeze Tallman. Get 15% off Trex composite decking. That's 15% off. Only purchased through Freeze Tallman. If you got a deck project coming up, then you're going to want to head to Freeze Tallman for their deck sale happening from May 12th to June 14th. That's 15% off Trex composite decking. Only purchased through Freeze Tallman. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel.
Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
Louis Dreyfus Yorkton, expanding to meet the canola needs of tomorrow. Once again, canola markets have been tossed into uncertain territory, but know that LDC is here for the long haul. The nearby months are filling fast, so call Louis Dreyfus today and ask about our very competitive basis levels and lock your canola in before space is gone. Canola delivery Monday to Friday from 6 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. LDC Yorkton, a name you know, a name you can trust. 1-877-782-8882 or ldcyorkton.com.
Well, it's time to open up the cabin. And like anything, water at the cabin is really important. So if you have iron, manganese, or hardness at the lake, give us a call. At Farm Fresh Water, we specialize in rural water and surface water. Rural water is all we do. We're not city people trying to solve a rural problem. We understand a cabin. In fact, I had a cabin in the Capel Valley. We very much understand logistics of hauling wastewater. If you're building new, give us a call and talk to us about the new technologies that are available before you dig a well. See us at farmfreshwater.ca.
The Tire Stewardship of Saskatchewan and your local tire retailers are committed to environmental responsibility by recycling your used tires. The spring tire changeover season is a busy time. You often need replacement tires, and Saskatchewan retailers can help you recycle your used tires. With drop-off locations around the province, find your closest return to retailer at tssk.ca to see how you, your retailer, and the Tire Stewardship of Saskatchewan can recycle your used tires.
Hey, straight guy, you know the saying, a new season, a new you?
I sure do. Why? Are you finally thinking about doing some self-improvement?
Nope, I was thinking about doing some straight guy improvement.
What's wrong with me?
Well, you have no style.
What do you mean? I have style.
Really? Okay. When was the last time you went on a date?
Well, let me think. There was that, yeah.
So, a long time then. Have you seen the new spring clothing at Cowtown? We'll fix you right up. First, we'll put you in some new jeans.
Wow, that was weird. Hey, these jeans look great.
Now let's put you in a nice shirt.
Wow, how are you doing this?
And finally, a new hat. And new boots. And presto.
Well, thanks, Cal. I'm looking good this spring. I think I'm going to go ask out Becky Podorski.
In town, out of town, for the best Western wear and fashions for spring, it's gotta be Cowtown. Cowtown Canada on Facebook.
So, what did Becky say?
I can't believe it. She said, maybe.
Go get him, straight guy.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. They've got everything you need for your projects. 600 Albert Street. PrairieLandRental.com. If it's happening in sports in Saskatchewan, we've got it covered on Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. On your radio at 620 CKRM and online at sportscage.com.
Back out in the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Perfect night for a little Western za. Maybe you don't want a wheel. Maybe you want the lasagna or Caesar salad, Greek salad, souvlaki ribs, all that good stuff. Visit your local Western Pizza. Blake Martinuk joining us from the Moosomin Steelhawks, the newest team in the Prairie Junior Hockey League. Blake, thanks so much for making some time today.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you having me.
So how does this all come about? That Moosomin is the next franchise in the Prairie Junior Hockey League.
Well, I mean, for starters, we couldn't believe that Moosomin is the largest community in Saskatchewan. I should say second largest. We know Meadow Lake currently doesn't have junior hockey either, but in terms of the South, the league was short one team in the South, so that's kind of how things came to be.
So then is it you and some buddies maybe at the Red Lion one night and you guys are talking it over and maybe we should get a junior hockey team or like, and how long ago do the discussions start?
It's funny. Definitely buddies, family helping me out as well. But this has been in the works for over a year for sure. Looking at kind of the right community, and we did our digging for sure. And Moosomin is absolutely a hockey town. Their minor programs are always strong, male and female. As I'm sure you would know, the Big Six Rangers, they're always a pretty competitive team as well. Not just in the Big Six, but provincially. Mm-hmm. It felt like just the right fit.
What are you guys looking at as far as a budget to run a Junior B or a Prairie Junior Hockey League franchise these days?
I feel like it's at least at 125. I don't have my book with me, but it's about that 125,000 for sure. We're fortunate that there's a lot of community support, so it certainly helps with things. But yeah, somewhere around there. We know some are a little higher than that, some could be lower, but for us in our geographical situation, that's the number we're coming up with.
And then the area and the town, obviously, it goes without saying, probably a lot of people really excited, wanting to help out.
Oh yeah, it's been overwhelming, I think would be the term, in a very positive way, of course. From helping out with the hockey operations to just serving on like a volunteer type board. The support has been. It's been overwhelming in a positive way, though.
Where does the name Steelhawks originate from? Give us the background there. I love the logo also. It has something to do with a railroad, I was told.
Yeah, thank you so much. And, my wife, her sister actually designed it. And, can't thank her enough. She did a great job. But oddly enough, my dad and I, we were traveling, and we were at the Best Western in Moosomin there. And, you're checking in. There's some pamphlets kind of sitting there. And, he did some research with that as well as online, and said, it seems like the town was kind of created, for the railway, and that's kind of how we landed on the name there.
Very cool story. Would there be a lot of kids in the Moosomin area right now that are maybe making the jump to the junior ages, and if they would have to move away, obviously, before the Steelhawks come to town, or they would play senior. Are there a lot of kids in that area in that age group?
Yeah, definitely. And like we've kind of said, there obviously there will be local players. Don't get us wrong. There's a lot of talent, obviously, right in Moosomin, as well as the surrounding communities as well. But I think everybody that we talk to definitely understands where we're coming from when we say that, as much as there are good players in the community, I think we're going to have to, branch out elsewhere in terms of being competitive on a league scale. But yeah, there will absolutely be, we hope there'll be Moosomin players as well as players in the surrounding communities, as well as some imports, out of province, possibly out of country, and even out of the continent. So,
yeah. All right. Who would be the, I guess, no-brainer when it comes to instant rival? Is there one?
Well, it's funny because I feel like rivalries are kind of created over time. You start battling each other, and one thing leads to another, and that's how rivalries can be created. It's not always the closest geographical team to you, but if we were just looking at it from that perspective, I would say Fort Knox. I believe they would be the closest team to us.
Yeah, Fort Knox. That would make sense, I guess. But who knows? It could get dusty with a few other teams as well.
For sure.
There's a lot of traveling in this league now, right? Because the North and the South, they do interlock.
Yes. I mean, on that topic, well, I guess to start with the interlocking schedule there, it's one of those things that you play a home and home against all of the North teams, or the North teams, they play a home and home against us. But yeah, like we say, we'll have to go up there. I believe it's a total of twice. First roadie could look like Carrot River, PA, and the new team in Martinsville there. And then the next roadie could quite literally be all three games right in Saskatoon against the three Saskatoon teams. So, we're fortunate that we only have to go and do that twice. The rest is kind of interdivision, and then they come play us. But, yeah, in terms of attracting other players, not saying we won't get kids from the PA Saskatoon area because, obviously you never know. But we believe that the fact that Brandon, about an hour and a half east of us, and we would be the closest Tier 3 option to them, and that is a hockey hotbed in itself in Brandon, Manitoba. We definitely see quite a few players coming from across the border that way.
Right on. All right, Blake. Yeah. Well, we're going to be keeping tabs on things here. I think it's exciting. Anytime you see more hockey teams, coming to fruition, and what you guys are doing in Moosomin, excellent job, and all the best. And like I said, we'll have to touch base again closer to the season.
Yeah, 100%. And again, really appreciate you having me out here today, and appreciate you keeping an eye on us. And we're really excited too, but the work has just begun,
That is Blake Martinick of the Moosomin Steelhawks. They're going to be an expansion team in the Prairie Junior Hockey League next season. Always great to see more hockey teams. Doesn't matter the league. It's great. And we cover local here. That's what we do in the Sports Cage. If you're watching the stream at sportscage.com or on 620 CKRM.
Flamin is all about our people, our staff, customers, community, because we know people are what make a difference. Here's Landon's story.
Hey everyone, my name is Landon Parrington. I'm a trailer sales representative out of Saskatoon. Been with Flamin for about 4.5 years now. The thing I love most about Flamin is the opportunity they provide. Started them in the yard, worked up into sales. They gave excellent room for growth. Amazing company to work for.
You fit at Flamin. To learn more about Flamin and current job openings, visit flamin.com/careers.
Rooted in tradition, leading in innovation, McDougall Auctioneers is your first choice for farm auctions. Hi, this is Riley McChesney. At McDougall Auctioneers, we understand that selling your farm equipment is more than just business. It's about peace of mind. That's why we offer a unique guarantee, a minimum value for your auction, ensuring you sell with confidence and comfort. Our promise is your security. Choose McDougall Auctioneers, where your satisfaction is not just expected, it's guaranteed. McDougallAuction.com.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Employee pricing is back at Southie Mainline. This month, you pay what we pay. Enjoy massive savings or get 0% interest rates OAC on your next purchase. Employee pricing is in full effect at Southie Mainline for the first time in 10 years. And with our 100-year anniversary in Canada, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram is giving back with employee pricing on almost all new inventory. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to save big. The new King of Trucks in Southie, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. For all your hot water needs, call on Reliance Heath today.
Quickly out to Rider training camp, and they cut some fellas today. The most interesting one, offensive lineman Noah Zare cut. Also, global punter Joe Couch, Nicaro Harper, Ty James, Justin Jefferson, Leon Jones, Kalen Laybourne. Interesting in Winnipeg, Shea Patterson was released. NHL tonight, Leafs host the Panthers, Oilers, Golden Knights. Big news out of the NHL. Rick Tocchet finally signing with the Flyers as head coach. Adam Foote, head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, and Ken Holland will be the new GM of the Los Angeles Kings. Centennial Cup, Melford's 2-1. They're into the quarterfinals. We know that for sure. They need a win over Valleyfield today to get home ice in the quarters. That means last change. Calgary will get first in Pool B. Their head coach of the Melfort Mustangs, Trevor Blevins, big congratulations. CJHL Coach of the Year. Blue Jays against the Rays again tonight. They lost 11-9 yesterday. NBA Knicks are at the Celtics. New York leads 3-1. Golden State at Mini with the Timberwolves up 3-1. And the PGA Championship starts tomorrow in Charlotte. We're going to run down some odds later. That is the Sportscage Sports Ticker in hour one for Heath, or Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Keeping you in hot and soft water. Call on Reliance. It is a Sports Cage. We'll be back hour two, starting with Eric Francis.
This is 620 CKRM Regina, a Harvard media station. Available everywhere on the CKRM app, Radio Player Canada, and at 620CKRM.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news. The Hearts in the Park event returned to Regina's Victoria Park today, bringing people together to remember victims of violence. The event is part of the Victims and Survivors of Crime Week, which runs until Saturday. Hosted by the Circle Project and other local groups, it included speeches and paper heart tributes. This year's theme focused on collaboration to stop violence and support survivors through community awareness and connection. Saskatchewan is expanding a mental health program to 5 more schools in the province. The provincial government says schools in Saskatoon, Isla La Crosse, Martinsville, Lloydminster, and Swift Current will now receive the program. Education Minister Everett Hindley says it helps young people learn how to manage their emotions and anxiety. The province is spending an additional $1.6 million on the program this year. The government of Saskatchewan is taking steps to prepare for a possible Canada Post strike this month. Social Services, Crown Utilities, and other agencies have plans to help keep services running. People who get government checks by mail are being urged to switch to direct deposit. Clients can still apply for health cards and drug plan coverage, but documents will be delayed. Businesses should still pay taxes on time, as mail delays don't change deadlines. Ontario Premier Doug Ford and Manitoba Premier Wab Kinew have signed an agreement to boost the movement of goods and labour between the two provinces. Kinew says his party will soon table similar trade legislation and believes it will help deliver nation-building projects through the free flow of labour between provinces.
And when we talk about putting people to work, the people with the hard hats and steel toes, the engineers and professionals, being able to work right across Canada, that is the opportunity that we're talking about here today.
The Premier signed a memorandum of understanding today that includes direct-to-consumer alcohol sales as part of increasing trade. The chief executive of ATCO Limited says secession talk in Alberta is already hurting the investment climate. The discussions have ratcheted up since the Liberals won a 4th term in office last month. Nancy Southern says companies from overseas are having a hard time making big investment decisions in Alberta with all the uncertainty.
There's just too many questions for them to be confident that they can move forward with large-scale investment decisions. And so I think the separatist discussion is very unhelpful and not constructive to Alberta.
Southern says she understands why Albertans may be frustrated with the Liberals in Ottawa, but that the best thing to do is to sit down with the new Prime Minister, Mark Carney, and work together. And the Calgary Stampede menu this year is set to include a heaping of pickle flavors and something for those with a cast iron stomach. There will be pork tongue, fiery dill Coke, deep fried pickle Oreos, and tzatziki twisted pickles, along with fruity pebble Korean hot dogs. Mopane worm poutine features the species of the emperor moth, an important source of protein in South Africa. Organizers say more than 50 new Midway foods will be available during the 10-day rodeo and exhibition, running July 4th to 13th. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Your only defense is a good fence. At Down to Earth Fencing, they supply high-quality Canadian-made PVC materials. So whether you're a contractor or a homeowner, your fence will be able to stand up to our extreme cold, heat, and winds. They'll install for you, or you can go the DIY route, and they'll even rent you post pounders. There's no staining or painting, and it won't brittle or fade. With multiple colors, styles, and textures. Visit DownToEarthFencing.com for a quote, or go see them at 2209 Red Bear Avenue in Regina. Down to Earth Fencing, the most logical choice.
Husqvarna days are on at Prairie Line Rental and Sales in Regina. Need a Husqvarna chainsaw? Get 20% off. Need a Husqvarna trimmer? Get 20% off there too. Need a zero-turn mower? Hey, get 10% off. Need a vehicle air freshener? Well, those are free. Seriously, they're handing them out at the counter. Husqvarna days are on at Prairie Line Rental and Sales in Regina, 600 Albert Street, where you deal directly with the owner. PrairieLineRental.com.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, rain and a low down to 3 degrees. Tomorrow, rain heavy at times and a high of 9 degrees. Also windy out of the north, 20 to 40, gusting over 55. Tomorrow night, looking at rain ending, hopefully low down to 4 degrees, but windy again, gusts up to 60 out of the north-northwest. Friday, partly sunny at times and a high of 13, but windy. Saturday, back to the sunshine and a high only of 12 degrees. Sunday, they're saying sunshine, then clouding up, rain at night and a high of 15.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X. Make your truck complete. 1865 McCarra Street.
Get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
It's good to be home.
Mom, what's for dinner? Can we get pizza?
Before Mom even had a chance to get annoyed, she recognized the good idea one of her kids actually had.
Not bad. Not bad.
After a long day when you don't feel like cooking, think Western Pizza. Big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or takeout. Order today.
And get it hot and get it fast. Western Pizza.
You need to know what's going on in Regina, so get the scoop with the Regina Today newsletter, your backstage pass to everything happening in the city. It's quick, it's free, it's Regina Unfiltered. Get it straight to your inbox. Find the link to sign up at 620ckrm.com or text news to 306-936-6262 and get the link delivered right to your phone. Regina Today from sastoday.ca. Don't miss out.
Hey, we're Harvard Media. A few times a year, we love to get together with our favorite businesses and throw a good old-fashioned classic auction. There's nothing like waiting until the last minute, battling out other bidders, and claiming your prize. We're looking for businesses to join up for our next one. All we need from you is an experience, service, or item like a gift card. In return, we'll serve you up a top-tier ad campaign. No cash needed. This is a trade deal. Check out harvardmedia.com for info. Terms and conditions apply.
A rolling stone gathers no moss? What a weird saying! Does it gather moss if it's not rolling? So many questions, but what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. Your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Pro Control tires. They're designed to wear evenly for crisp handling and engineered to take on water while maintaining grip. Ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Pro Control tires today. They'll keep you rolling.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products, proudly serving Saskatchewan for over 70 years. Visit rnpchevrolet.com today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
Welcome back to Hour 2. can always have your say, like we said, on the Prairieland Rentals text line, 936-6262. Oh, here come Oiler fans. Here come Oiler fans. Oilers clinch tonight, winning 4-2. Just a better team than Vegas, depth-wise. How about the Medicine Hat Tigers? Yeah, 6-0. Last night I watched half that game. Yeah, Spokane just laid an egg. Thanks for the message, Tyson. We got some other ones here. Jim in Paul. Yeah, Rick's a big Oiler fan as well. Keep them coming. Husqvarna days are on right now at Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street. We got the training camp report coming up kind of around the bottom of the hour. The fellas will be back in, but right now it is time to talk hockey with our NHL insider.
Now for Inside the NHL with Eric Francis on the Sportscage. Inside the NHL is brought to you by Southie Mainline Chrysler, the newest king of trucks. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed.
Eric Francis is with us. Employee pricing is on right now at Southie Mainline Chrysler. They want to celebrate 100 years. They're giving back Chrysler Canada, Jeep, Dodge, Ram as well. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed. Eric, you're over the phone today, so the logical question is, what did you shoot, or are you still on the course?
I just wrapped it up, but and that's a good guess. Yeah, I guess I got to play ball here. I'm en route from the course to home. Shot a 75. I'm okay with that. Left some out there for sure, but you know what? It's not about the score. It's about the birdie juice. Is really what it's all about.
It's about the gambling.
What is your birdie juice? What is your birdie juice of choice?
Can it be solidified in some sort of gummy state?
Okay.
I'm
fair enough.
Not a big. You know what it is. I think I told you this before. I call them the Wednesdays because of men's night. It's this is just. It's not if I get a birdie, I'm taking a shot or anything. But I like a nice gin, soda water with half of a shot glass roughly of Fresca. It's a refreshing drink on the golf course. Called the Wednesday.
Jesus.
Gin, soda, Fresca. Okay. There you go. Keep the calorie count down. What's that?
You mix it all together ahead of time?
No, the cart girls do it at the course I play.
Oh.
They call it the Wednesday. Yeah, and it keeps the calorie count down, so then Maz is happy, right? Because Maz likes to criticize people on their calorie intake and all that. So Greg's with me today from the Piffles podcast, so he might chime in as well. Which team is done? Vegas or Winnipeg or both?
I don't know. I'm going to say Vegas, but it's not looking good for either one of them, obviously. But they're both damn good teams, and I guess it's not supposed to shock any of us if they, at least won one more game and got the nerves going to bring it into a game 6. But yeah, if you're gonna put it on one. But then again, Vegas is playing in Vegas tonight, and they don't lose in Vegas very often. That place is tough to play in. I don't know. That one, the Oilers just seem to have this momentum, and they've got all the guns going. And it's, as we've talked about throughout the playoffs, it's not just the big boys. In fact, it's rarely the big boys. It's everybody else chipping in. And Vander Kane now is the story of the day, and it's just quite amazing. And no, I hate to say it, you're not supposed to say anything nice around here about the Oilers, but it really does seem like they've got all of the ingredients except the goaltender, which is a bit of a problem in the National Hockey League if you don't have that one ingredient. So, lineup-wise, they're looking really good, except for the goaltender, but their goaltenders have been able to step up. So we'll see. So I'll say Vegas, but I'll be watching closely tonight. It's going to be a good one.
Hey, Eric, Greg here. Got a question looking on the other side to the east. What happens if/when Toronto loses? Are they done?
Oh, another good team, and if I don't know what Stolar's situation. If they get him back, I think anything's possible because he kind of completes that lineup. Are they done? I don't know. You'd go back to Florida, and you'd have to win in Florida against a team with all the momentum and 3 wins in a row. It would sure feel like they were done. But again, Toronto's a good team, and if they get the goaltending on any given night, they could keep it, keep this thing going to 7 games. But yeah, I'm with you. Like, it sure feels to me, and again, Paul Maurice, I think, was the first guy to say it, like, good teams, Stanley Cup winning teams, completely ignore momentum. Like, game to game, there's no such thing as momentum or lack thereof. And, but it sure feels to me like Florida's got a ton of momentum, and a series that everyone in Toronto probably thought they were going to wrap up in 4 after the first 2 games now suddenly looks a whole lot scarier. So, yeah, I would say if there is such a thing as momentum and a team like Florida can, put that nail in your coffin, a win tonight by Florida in Toronto would put them, in a real bad spot.
Who do you think is more sick of talking to the media and doesn't want to talk to the media for the next 6 months, Auston Matthews or Connor Hellebuyck?
I want to put Mitch Marner in there too.
Sure.
Because Mitch and Auston Matthews are inextricacally linked, and the one thing they have in common, on top of being phenomenal hockey players, is neither one of them has a reputation for being any good in the playoffs. So, and yes, same with Hellebuyck. I get what the storyline is, but yeah, you can read it. These guys are so sick of standing in front of people answering the same questions. And really, they got no one to blame but themselves for having the same storyline time after time after time. And I'm not saying that they're not giving the effort. I'm not saying they're not trying, but this is what's dogged them their entire careers and will continue to dog them until they do something about it. So, do something about it, and then you don't have to answer those questions.
I can't get over. I would really love to know the real thoughts, what's going on in his mind, because when we talked about it yesterday on the show when Gene Principe interviewed Stu Skinner after that game, and Stu said all the right things, but I just feel in his mind he is like, these bloody people are so annoying in this city. I want out as soon as we are done. But he's not, and he's got a closet deal. Nice commercial. But like speaking of the emotional roller coaster that guy's on, where they hate him, he probably people are throwing bags of what at him, and then the next night they're chanting his name. Like that would be hard on the mental side of things.
Yeah, it hasn't been easy for him, and as the hometown boy that everybody's cheering for, and everybody, that they want him to succeed so badly, and that's why you hear the Stu chants every time he makes a save, because they, of course, want to support him, and he's kind of their key to success or failure, right? I mean, and so he's in a real tough spot. Like, I'd love to have been a fly in the wall when they said to him, we're gonna go with Pickard here for a little while, and the whole spiel would be, it takes 2 goalies to win a Stanley Cup in the modern era. You got to have 2 goalies, so it's just time for somebody else to kind of steer the ship for a bit. But we're going to need you back again. And if you don't receive that message the right way, I could really sit in your craw. Like, I've been your guy all year long, and you're going to do this to me at a time when I kind of actually need some support right now, not some benching. So yeah, I would love to have been in that room. That would have been an exercise in diplomacy.
Meanwhile, he pulls a Kramer on the Serenity Now episode and goes home and just beats the crap out of his closet. Kramer
Those
rips
things
off.
are sturdy. Those California closets are sturdy. That's funny.
Do you have one? You seem like a California closet kind of guy.
No, it's not in my tax bracket right there. That's. I remember asking my wife about that. We just did some renovations actually, and I said, "Would we ever do California closets?" She's like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me? Those things are ridiculous."
No, we're going to IKEA, picking up a wardrobe.
Yeah, that's right. She's like, "We will get wire or mesh." That'll be good enough. If it's good for a locker room, it's good for our bedroom.
Oh, the old Canadian Tire special with the racks and the hooks. And
Oh, yeah. We've all had that.
It's a nice little setup, boys. Nice setup.
Getting out of the playoffs for a second there, there's been a lot of hirings lately. I myself am a Penguins fan. They seem to be taking their sweet time finding their new bench boss. Are they aiming for somebody, or are they just taking their time?
Yeah, they're clearly taking their time. And, it's interesting to me now that Rick Tocchet's going back to Philadelphia, which hands up all those who thought that might be a good fit, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody was waiting for that announcement. Like, I felt like tweeting, what took you so long? But I get it. When you have like 8 options, including the organization he left, he wanted to take his time and make sure everything was hunky-dory. So I don't know if the Rick Tocchet, like I've always seen him as the domino, and once he got signed, because I think a lot of teams wanted him, or at least were interested in talking to him, and I've always felt like once he signed with somebody, then the other dominoes would start to fall. And I do believe that that's going to be the case now that that's been solidified. I don't know which way Pittsburgh is leaning, but it is such a, what I would call the Goldilocks hire. You're not hiring someone for long term, and you're not hiring someone for. You're kind of hiring someone for medium term. Like, you're not going to be a contender next year, but you're hoping the year after you will, which of course is contrary to what the rest of the hockey world believes is even possible, given the way they've, mortgaged their future so many years in a row there. So that is, I think, who they hire is going to be very telling in terms of how far out they see it in terms of when they might be able to be a contender again. And I think we all believe that's a pipe dream, thinking that they could be a contender anytime soon.
Ken Holland, Los Angeles Kings, it's official today. General manager. I wonder if he throws an offer sheet out to anybody, just to disrupt things.
Wouldn't it be great if he offer sheeted somebody in Edmonton?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah, you know what? Like, it's funny that a lot of people have been wondering if, given what Doug Armstrong did last year with the offer sheeting, and it was just cutthroat, man. That's one of the great GM moves of the era. It was so well calculated and everything. It was a perfect storm of circumstances, too. Everyone wants to know if that's going to be more prevalent moving forward, and I don't think it is. I don't think you're going to see any of them this year, as a matter of fact, because with the growing salary cap, everybody's got just a little bit more wiggle room this summer and next summer. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like the Oilers were in such a pinch that they couldn't get out of it financially, cap-wise. Now I think everybody's just got that extra money right now. And hey, some people could go and spend like drunken sailors, and then after, the dust settles after the draft, somebody sees another opening to try and corner somebody. But I just don't see it. I think everybody saw that. Everybody's terrified of it happening to them. And I think everybody's got a little more cushion moving forward. So as exciting as offer sheets are, I don't see them happening anytime soon.
Are the Flames going to try and lock in Wolf long-term anytime soon here?
I think they'd love to. I think they'd love to. And, the contract that I keep throwing out there as a comparison was Jeremy Swayman. Remember, he held out a little bit this year. There was a little bit of bad feelings between the Bruins and him, but he knew that since they traded Ullmark, was holding all the cards. His numbers last year are eerily similar to the numbers that Wolf posted this year. And so I think that contract would be something that I think the Flames would be very interested. It's 8 years times $8.25 million. And I think you throw that at Dustin Wolf this summer. Look, he's got one more year left on his entry-level deal. I'm not sure how motivated he is to sign a year early. I wouldn't be if I was Dustin Wolf. I'd be betting on myself to have an even better year next year. That kid's got so much confidence that I think that he'd be prime candidate for a bridge deal, saying, look, I'm going to go and win a Vezina or try to win a Vezina or two, and then we'll talk contract for a long-term extension. But I just wonder if the Calgary Flames were to throw 8 times 8 at him or something like that, how a kid who's a 7th-round draft pick who everybody said couldn't do it, I don't know if he says no. I'd be fascinated. And I think that's something. I think that's what they're going to try to do this summer, just to lock him up and never worry about him again. But I just think with his confidence, I wonder if he'd even sign that. I'm not sure.
So it's funny. I was listening to you on the fan this morning while I was in line waiting outside to give blood because I got a physical next week. When's the last time you gave blood? Or blood test?
A blood test. I have a bunch of them recently, but I'm not keen on needles, man. I hate to say it, but I don't give blood too regularly because it freaks me out. I like the free donuts, but that's about it.
No, it's more for the physical, like the blood test. Because it's in Calgary, is it the same, or you got to like go really early, and there's like the lineup gets to like 70 people deep, or do you have like a fancy, little bit different in Calgary?
Well, we could book appointments here in Calgary.
Oh yeah, we can't do that. Yeah, no,
What?
There's like these elderly people today, like elbows up, man. Like I was getting roughed up.
Really?
In the while I was listening to you on the fan, and dead serious. I'm like, I got to tell Eric about this story. Yeah, no, it's cutthroat here. Okay, we'll let you go. Good round today, good shooting, and also, by the way, I think I got a name for our podcast because you threw it out today. I think it's one of the greatest terms, words, couple words, hunky dory.
Hunky dory.
Yeah.
How many times a week are we going to do the hunky dory podcast?
Like once a month. It's just about traveling. Traveling hunky-dory podcast.
That is hunky-dory then. Yeah, I'm all in if it's once a month. That sounds wicked.
Okay, Eric, have a good one, bud. Talk to you next week.
Okay, boys. Yeah, have a great day. Cheers.
Our NHL insider, Eric Francis, for Southie Mainline Chrysler. Employee pricing is back there. Enjoy massive savings or get 0% interest rates. OAC. That's a big deal right now. They're celebrating 100 years, is Chrysler Canada. A Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Worth the drive every time, guaranteed, to Southeast Saskatchewan. My mom uses that one all the time. Hunky-dory.
It's an older phrase, that's for sure.
Could bring it back. Hey, have you ever heard it before, Curtis? Youngster Curtis over there?
Yeah, I've heard hunky-dory. My mom says it a lot.
When your dad was taking you to the bar to listen to Kim Mitchell?
Yeah, it says, oh, hunky-dory, go put this one on the old jukebox, buddy. Yeah.
You do, yeah. Mike and the Drifters. You do seem like a Wheels kind of Degrassi kid. I was watching some Degrassi the other night, actually. The one where the school burnt down. That must be one of the last ones.
I don't recall that one.
They're at a
wasn't a big Degrassi
guy.
guy.
At a dance. Yeah. And then they thought Joey was still inside. It was a great episode. Still more to come. We're going up to Saskatoon for training camp right after we do a little clutch performer after the break. It is a Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com.
Breakfast Club all sat on the floor.
Don't you ever talk about my floors. You don't know any of my floors. You don't look at any of my floors. Just bury your head in the floor and wait for your prom.
I hate this floor.
Yeah? Good.
Luckily, today, Flooring Superstore has everything you want. Their stock is immediately available with professional installation for residential or commercial spaces. Flooring Superstore. Quality floor covering at the best price. FlooringSuperstoreRegina.ca.
When you're on the road, don't forget you can fuel up 24 hours a day at Arcola Co-op. Their card lock also now accepts Visa and MasterCard. You don't have to be a card lock member to access regular gas and premium diesel 24 hours a day. Enjoy the convenience of avoiding lineups at the regular pumps and feel secure knowing you can fuel up anytime, day or night. Get both premium diesel and regular fuel using your Visa or MasterCard 24 hours a day at Arcola Co-op. Arcola Co-op, you're at home here.
Meet your new favorite shade of green. At Nick Service, we offer the Fendt 500 Vario Series tractor that's tailor-made for your farm. Get better stability, ease of use, and comfort with one tractor. Whether you're feeding, tilling, baling, or hauling, this series is built for your farm. Experience up to 163 horsepower with this multi-purpose tractor. Visit Nick Service in Emerald Park or go to nickservice.com to get a quote on the Fendt 500 Vario Series.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
Clutch Performer, not just one. I'm going the whole Medicine Hat Tigers hockey team last night. So they're without Gavin McKenna, who, if you haven't heard, is really good at hockey. He just had his 54-game point streak snap. Not playing in the game. And then Caden Lindstrom goes out in the second period. I think it was the second period with a hit. But they roll the Spokane Chiefs 6-0. Medicine Hat had 45 shots on net. They circle back and go right back at it tonight. So mine, just the Medicine Hat Tigers as a team. Round. Who you got one, Curtis?
Yeah. My clutch performer goes to Colin Lovequist for giving me a real heads up that we had a flat tire on the CKRM truck. So we got that all tuned up, and that was really good. So clutch on Colin letting me know ahead of time, because we do need it for Thursday country cookout.
How did he give you a heads up?
I went to grab the keys from him. He's like, "Oh, are you gonna fill it up?" And I was like, maybe I'll fill up the tire first and maybe go get it patched." But yeah.
So he didn't tell you about the flat tire.
Yeah,
he probably didn't know.
Yeah, this is a sarcastic clutch performer.
Okay. Well, people can't read you out in Radio Land.
Yeah,
Okay, but Colin probably didn't know. It was like he drove over a nail or something on purpose and then parked it downstairs and like, suck it, Curtis.
So you're hammering the under on Colin hitting a nail on purpose?
He does a lot of driving. Does a lot of the mean streets of Regina. What's up with you, Colson? Who do you got?
Dallas Stars had a guy who did pretty good last night.
Oh, yes.
Granlund, first career playoff hat trick.
How good was that? And then this goal should never go in if you're watching the stream, for starters, on Hellebuck.
That was beach ball territory.
75-year-old man getting up. This was a snipe. Look off on the 2-on-1. We've all pulled that in Adult Safe D Division at 11 o'clock at night. And then the other one was okay, too. That was by far the nicest one. It's here. It's like a little one-timer late in the power play. Granlund. Yeah, good one, Colson. Our clutch performers are for Nick Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson, Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fent dealer. Call 781-1077. Let's get the Rider Talk going again. We're going back up to training camp, where Dave and Luke are situated at the Red Zone Sports Bar. They're bringing you the training camp reports right behind the Saskatoon Travelodge. Not sure of the specials today, fellas. Maybe you can let our listeners know. There's some people around the Saskatoon area might slink in for a steak sando or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Always a good option. Also, the $15 Blue Jay special on tonight as the Jays try to rebound after that horrible ninth inning last night. $15 gets you a burger, fries, and a beverage.
Is that what we're getting tonight? Is that I remember?
That's what we're getting. Yeah,
that's what we're getting.
Yeah. Plus, there's the Maple Leaf special too. But
what's the Maple Leaf special?
Well, they just don't serve it with cups.
Really? Really? That's what we're doing? That's what we're doing? Wow.
Yeah. That's right. Stick it to him.
Man. That's some BS.
Sorry.
Can I name Dave as my clutch performer now?
That's unbelievable. I'm just sitting here minding my own business, man. I'll put my sunglasses back on.
You should have. What are you thinking about that game? Like, what's your thoughts on Austin Matthews?
My thoughts on Austin Matthews is if he doesn't want the C, give it to Nylander. He's not playing like the C. He's paid to be at a certain level and play at a certain level, and that includes scoring goals. So, again, just give it to Nylander. If we want a captain with some heart, he's playing hard, right? And I'm just hoping we get a little bit of help from Wall for Wall today, because again, he was there was only a select few of guys but it's going to help being him back in Toronto, right? So.
Oh, but
I just think that we went up 2-0 and then they just realized, oh, wait a second, we're the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's not supposed to be easy. So slow down. We got to screw this up a little bit before we get to the third round.
No, if Panthers score first tonight, that Toronto rink will sound like Spears Funeral Chapel. It will be.
I don't know, man. We're a pretty resilient bunch.
No, you're not. You got jeans and sport coat guy. That's all that's there. There's no passionate fans. If they are, they're way up in the boonies.
Nah, there's listen, we sneak a few fans in there during the playoffs though, Barney. It's the regular season. Yeah, you got Sport Coat guy, right? But there'll be a ton of actual hockey fans in there today.
Can I sneak in an over-under? Over-under whether or not Nylander gets run by Tkachuk tonight. Yes, no?
Oh, what's the over-under?
Over, it's going to happen. Under, it ain't going to happen.
Oh, I would think so.
I don't think so.
I would think so. That's all Tkachuks are good for.
I think Domi will have to have his head on a swivel, especially if it gets out of hand a little bit.
Don't worry, boys. It's not getting out of hand. We're winning today.
Yeah. No, it's you can sit. You guys got the life right now. Like, so jealous, sitting there eating pub food, get to watch the sports, talk Rider football, training camp. We're going into hour 2. Any big plays today that we can tell the people about that weren't there? Anything that stands out?
Well, for you immediately said to me, Marcus Sales is the best you've seen.
Yeah, Marcus Sales is balling in camp today. I think he's the best guy out there in terms of big plays. Actually, he had a couple nice breakups today.
Yeah, 3 consecutive plays. 3. Yeah,
big plays. I think it was Sam Emilus that hawked that jump ball on the sideline against number 32.
Yeah,
he's a newcomer, but yeah, Sam Emilus. It was a beautiful catch because we were competing. Mm-hmm. It was situational that's and Emilus, I mean, this is essentially what he does, though, right? Like, he's known for these plays. But Emilus just sort of reminded us who he is by jumping up in a crowd of about 2 to 3 guys. And he landed awkwardly, too.
Oh, yeah.
And hopped right back up. Like, 32 ended up getting injured on this play. But Emilus was the one who looked like he fell the worst.
Yeah.
So it was good to see nothing came of it for anybody, right? But I think that was probably the play of the day, that jump ball towards the end of practice with Sam Emilus in the crowd.
Luke, on the last time you said you want to talk about Jack Cohn, so what has he done? I know the Riders are high on him after everything they put out about him last year, but what are you seeing now?
Well, he's obviously playing with a little bit more confidence, which I think is I mean, last year, one of the biggest things, when you're a rookie, you could tell he was thinking a lot, right? And I think I pointed this out to you last year, is that he seemed like mechanically he was just a sliver behind the other guys in the room. And I think that he's caught up mechanically as well. So he's seeing the field really well. He's obviously got a ton of confidence coming into year 2 under Mark Mueller, and it shows. I think he's outplayed Tommy Stevens when they've had – of course, I mean, Tommy Stevens is going to – you're going to eventually have to go into a 3rd or 2nd and 1 sort of situation, and Tommy Stevens is as tall as Cooper Flagg, so he's going to have the 3rd down advantage there. But he's a better thrower than Tommy Stevens for sure, and I think that he's done just as much as Jake Mayer. Now, I'm not comparing the guys, but I'm just saying, like, he's done as much as Jake Mayer has. I think he's been really consistent. I haven't seen too many bad balls from him. And then again, I think that Trevor Harris continues to just ascend as a QB1, right? Which you would expect.
True.
Where do you see him landing then this year? Like let's fast forward to August. Where is Cohen?
I think he's on the roster. I think that you've got Harris, Mayer, obviously Stevens fills a need on the 3rd down thing. But again, like, it depends how you look at 3rd down. Do you look at 3rd down as a critical element to your game? I would say so. There's been times where 3rd down has impacted the result of a Saskatchewan Roughriders win or loss. From a short yardage position, you saw us struggle a little bit at the end of the year with no true short yardage quarterback. Shea Patterson lost his mind a little bit, in spots when he had his opportunities. But again, I would put him 3rd in the depth chart right now if you're looking at just throwing. Sure.
What I wonder is, we've seen this in Hamilton with Litre, right? A fullback plays the 3rd down play. He's used to carrying the ball. Yeah. They've got a bigger frame behind them. We saw AJ Ouellette do it twice last year for the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
That's what I'd like to see.
AJ Ouellette?
No, not AJ Ouellette, but just like
Thomas Bertrand
Houdon. Thomas Bertrand Houdon.
What about Albert Awachi?
Albert Awachi, he's been hurt. Can't make the club in the tub. We don't know what's wrong with Awachi, right? But again, I that's the route I'd go, because I'd
3rd
down quarterback is important. But the third down is really what the important part is, because not a lot of teams throw out of third down. You might catch a team sleeping and want to hit them up, right? But that happens few and far between. I would love to see Cone on this roster somehow.
I think it's going to be really tricky on how that plays out. Speaking of it, what's around the horn here? Everybody's take on Shea Patterson getting released in Winnipeg.
Go ahead. To go first. I think that it's not a huge surprise in that this is training camp. We obviously don't know how he came into camp. One thing I can tell you, though, is that Mike O'Shea, once you're a Mike O'Shea guy, you're a Mike O'Shea guy. And I think that Patterson went into a situation where the Bombers expected him to either take a spot or just not be in a spot. And maybe they made that decision early. So, again, I'm not sure who they got on their roster. I know they got Caleros, and I know that the Canuck truck over there is healthy.
Strevler.
Yeah, Strevler. Other than that, I'm not sure who they've got on the roster. I know they like the third string QB guy, the guy they bumped up to number 2 when Strevler went down. So I think that was probably where the competition was between that quarterback and Patterson. I don't think Patterson was competing in the same realm as Strevler and Caleros. And again, it's because once you're a Mike O'Shea guy, you're a Mike O'Shea guy for as long as possible.
Good point. Dave, you go ahead.
My quick thought was that Shea was going into a tough spot there, right? And the Bombers before camp released Jake Delagala, and he knew what he was getting into. And for me, I continued to see Shea grow last year, but last year was a big opportunity for him, right? Because when you get those starts, you got to make the most of them. Look what Davis Alexander did in Montreal. He got his starts, and he made the most of them. So for Shea Patterson, again, he had to come in and have a strong camp, and unfortunately just wasn't able to unseed what was already there. I'm with you on that, Luke.
Yeah, I felt that last year Shea Patterson his clock was always moving too fast. I think that he had too much going on in his mind sometimes.
So, Dave, I got Luke going. Let's get you going. Let's hear about your nothing runs like a Ford. You know that's wrong.
I'm not going to get into that because I know what brand loyalty is in this province, and I don't want to get all up on social media on that. But what I will tell you is that there's guys that are making a statement, right? And we've talked about the depth on this roster, and guys that, are familiar names need to go out and do something. And today, again, we all know that Nelson Lacombe is going to be the starting safety game number 1 of this season. And there's going to be some battles behind him. Jaden Dahlke, of course, got opportunities and reps last year to play in that position in the secondary. Jackson Ford was hurt all year last year. And I'll tell you, I thought Jackson did a terrific job today in the fact that he commanded the defense. He was making the calls, and you could see him brimming with confidence out there. And again, everything that he went through last year and having to rehab and get himself into game shape, came back, got nicked up again. You cheer for a kid that's a local product. And again, who's going to forget the play that he made during Labor Day when he swatted that pass down to win the game for the Riders? He does the right things, and I really think he's taken a step ahead.
Character, right? Everything he's been through in a 12-month span, that says a lot about the guy's character. The other thing, we talked about it in hour 1. We went kind of through the receivers and all that. I like what this guy showed last year. I'm expecting not as much as Dante Myers, but you had a chance to talk to Roboselli, Dave.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, he's coming into camp with a purpose. He's got a touchdown streak with at least 1 touchdown in each and every practice thus far. Usually he's getting 2 on average, had another 2 today. And you know what? His backstory is incredible, right? Last year he got the call while he was delivering a package to come up to camp. The guy has really played 3 years of high-level competitive football, and that's it. So he's come in, he's made a statement, and again, he was ready to ride into this offseason.
How much did getting into that last game last year inspire your offseason?
Big time. I think if you go look at the film, I left a little bit out on the field. I wish I could have had some of the plays back, but I think I kind of felt the game and felt, I could hang here. And I think if there was a little more work that was done in the offseason, that I think I could excel at a very high level. And I think I still have a lot of work to do, but I'm excited to, progress and keep going.
Comfortable sometimes is a negative word. Oh, yeah. I'm comfortable, but you look very comfortable with what you're doing on the field. Is that a correct assessment and a positive assessment?
Yeah, I think last year I got a little bit comfortable on practice squad to the point where I felt like I knew the plays, but I wasn't really locked in on the details. And all they talk about is know the details, know the details. So even when I was getting my reps, I would maybe mess up on the details, like I wasn't hot or something like that. And in the off season, just really making sure that I knew exactly what I was doing on every single play, and making sure that when I got my opportunity, that I was going to succeed and not have any misassignments or anything like that.
Maybe knowing what you were coming into this year, did your offseason change? Was it more mental preparation as opposed to physical?
A lot more mental. I think as of before I came in, I've thought of myself as an athlete, just natural raw talent, and that doesn't always mean that you're going to fit a certain position. And I think I've had to transition to becoming a wide receiver, and just working on certain stuff. Like I'm obviously fast, but just working on controlling myself, running routes and stuff like that. So just working at the top of my routes and stuff like that, and then also just, like you said, a lot more mental.
It looks like you're playing more physical this year, though, too. Like when you go for a contested catch, your body seems to be in much more of a positive position, even when you're blocking or setting up for the run scheme. Do you believe that?
Yeah, definitely. So before I even went and played at Tusculum, when I was up in college, and like I said, I didn't do too well. I was playing for my fraternity's intramural flag football team. So I was playing a lot of flag football. So there's no blocking, just kind of running routes and stuff like that. And even before I went to Tusculum, I was on I had made the team for the U.S. national team. So I was just playing a lot of flag football where you weren't really allowed to touch each other. So it took me a while to getting used to learning how to block and all that stuff like that. And even Coach Quay at the end of last year, he was like, listen, we need you to work on your blocking. And that's something that I kind of focused on in the off season and that I'm still trying to focus on and get better at right now.
Two-part question. If Trevor Harris likes you, he will give you a nickname. Does he like you?
Yeah, he does. He gave me the nickname Jellyman, which is the ultimate respect to somebody who he played with, who he said was a dog on the field, and I remind him of him. So yeah,
keep being a dog. Thanks for doing this.
I appreciate you guys.
So it's a
Jellyman.
Jellyman and being a dog.
Did we ever find out what the package was that he was delivering? I'm serious.
I did not.
Come on,
Was he
we're
like
gonna
an
find
Amazon
out.
worker? Is that what it was?
I think
maybe
UPS. I
FedEx.
thought.
Maybe he's delivering Wilson.
Oh, UPS.
Wilson.
Oh,
No,
man, listen,
that you-
I hate to break it to you fellas, but FedEx, UPS, and Amazon, all those delivery drivers, man, they're on borrowed time with these drones and robots coming out these days.
Those
man.
robots. I saw one 2 years ago at the kids on ASU on campus delivering food, and we were just like, what year is it?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
just
So Back to
Same
the
with
Future
Uber.
is going to finally happen?
yeah.
Same with
Meanwhile,
Uber. Once the self-driving cars are really sort of like ready to
Yeah.
roll and are troubleshot, oh man, that's when everybody that invests in Uber, their investments are going to skyrocket.
Meanwhile, I don't know if you heard with Eric Francis in Saskatchewan in Regina. I can't pre-book my appointment to give blood this morning. I have to go stand in line, like 70 deep. So I think we're a ways away from that here. Let's get the online booking from Life Labs first. You had a question.
Well, that's just because you can't give blood when you bleed pickle juice, Barney. That's why they're making you line up there, buddy.
Oh, I can't wait to win that bet.
Gherkin or kosher? What are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Back to the receivers. Wayne Ruby Jr. came in with a bunch of confidence. How is he looking in camp right now?
He stood out right away. He absolutely stood out right away in rookie camp. He came into play, and he was a favorite target. But unfortunately, your reps go down right when the vets come in. So his reps have gone down. He's made the most of his opportunities. But again, when you got guys like Joe Robicelli, Dante Myers, you got Samuel Emlis making the catch that he did today, Kean Schaefer. When you've got that happening in front of you, it's real hard. And again, Coach said there's going to be some difficult depth chart positions.
And you always got to remember that the playbook, as the more you install the playbook, the new guys, there's a noticeable change in their ability to play fast, and it's because they're thinking so much. So not only do you have a ton of reps that are not out there like they were in rookie camp, now you've got a ton of plays and expectations, and sometimes that moves fast for people. I've seen a ton of guys that when you see him in the locker room or you see him just in shorts and shirt playing around, you're just like, oh man, this guy's the greatest athlete I've ever seen. But you got to be able to catch on to a pro playbook, and that's one of the things that we'll start seeing here as camp moves on, is guys will start falling off just because they can't keep up with the book.
Okay, we got a quick turnaround. We're getting back to you guys in hour 3 in about 15 minutes time. Okay, so get your Smart Aleck comments ready over there, Mr. Mullender. Jerk. Training camp reports with the fellas are brought to you by the Red Zone Sports Bar behind the Saskatoon Travel Lodge up in Saskatoon. Daily specials. We've been talking about it all week. Sounds like a great place to catch a game. It is the Sportscage. We are streaming at sportscage.com and on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
The biggest and best collector car auction in Saskatchewan is back. It's the 6th annual Coast to Coast Collector Car Auction, June 28th at the Cali Curling Club in Regina. This one-day live auction event with online bidding brings the biggest bidders to Regina for the best selection of classic cars and trucks. There's still room to consign your vehicle to this auction. Last year we had 118 cars, and this year we want to sell yours. Go with a Saskatchewan company with worldwide exposure. Consign with us today at coasttocoastauctionssk.ca. That's coasttocoastauctionssk.ca.
It'll be take me out to the ball game or take me down to the rink before you know it. And Extreme Hockey and Sport will have you ready for everything this season. You'll be all set for the ball diamond with team kits, bats, gloves, accessories, and training products in stock. And of course, they've got everything to get you geared up for spring hockey. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered. 1425 McIntyre Street and the Pro Shop, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center.
Dad, I've got a problem.
Let me guess. The solution's in my wallet?
Very funny, Dad. We need better internet.
Look, son, when I was younger...
When you were younger, the dinosaurs still roamed the earth. Can we get wireless internet, or is that too hip for you?
I'll have you know, Junior, that I've already been to Glasser's TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer. Wireless internet is on the way.
You might be more hip than I thought, Dad.
Contact Glasser's TV, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Moosomin today.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
It's the 9th Annual RPS Veterans Association and Regina Police Service Show and Shine, June 1st at the Connexus Arts Center, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., rain or shine. It's not just a car show. This free family event has something for everyone. Food trucks, vendor displays, prizes, live entertainment by School of Rock, and more. $15 to enter a vehicle. Early registration is $10. Admission is free for the public. All makes and models are welcome. Proceeds go to the Salvation Army. Don't miss the 9th Annual RPS Veterans Association and Regina Police Service Show and Shine.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered.
Riders released some bodies this morning. It came out Noah Zaire on the offensive line released, as was global punter Joe Couch, defensive back Makaro Harper, Ty James, American receiver, American defensive lineman Justin Jefferson, who got in the tussle yesterday, the brouhaha, American defensive back Leon James, and American running back Kalen Laybourne was released. If you didn't catch it out of Winnipeg, Shea Patterson, quarterback last year here with the Riders, was released there. NHL tonight, moments away, Leafs, Panthers, also Oilers, Golden Knights. What a night to watch hockey. Rick Tocchet, new head coach with the Philadelphia Flyers. We all knew that was coming. Adam Foote, new head coach in Vancouver, and Ken Holland is the general manager of the Los Angeles Kings. Centennial Cup, they are still in the first period. Melfort and De Valleyfield are tied 0-0 in the first. Shout out Trevor Blevins, head coach of those Melfort Mustangs. He won the CJHL Coach of the Year award today. Blue Jays playing baseball tonight against the Rays. They lost 11-9 yesterday. In the National Basketball Association, the Knickerbockers are at the Celtics. They lead 3-1. Golden State, Minnesota play tonight. The Timberwolves are up 3-1 there. That is your sports ticker in hour 2 for Extreme Hockey and Sport. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered, and also Umbrella Marketing as well. All right, Greg from Piffles Podcast has been with me today for Regina Motor Products. Running backs. Where do you think this lands? Who do you think we're not talking about that we will be talking about maybe in a month or so time?
I don't know. It seems like all the reports coming out of training camp is that Trent Penix and Mario Anderson are basically neck and neck right now. I think Luke is right that you don't sleep on Bertrand Hudon.
Yeah.
Because he will always be on the roster because of his special teams play. And he has shown if you give him the ball, he can be an offensive weapon, and his passport doesn't hurt.
Yeah, passport. Where did Hickson end up?
Just cut. I don't think he actually signed anywhere.
I thought he was running with somebody. Trying to make
if he did sign, I'm lost right now.
Speaking of football, thanks, Travis, for sending this in on the Prairie Land Rentals text line. The RMF High School Spring League Football Championships go tonight at Libel. Actually, not a bad night for football. A little rainy, a little cloudy.
A little cool, but Libel Field's a beautiful facility. Like, it is a
lots of wasps in the summer. They just, for some reason, they love that place. Third place game goes at 5:30. Shout out. And then the first place game at 7:30. If you want to take your kids, maybe watch some RMF Spring League football at Libel.
Frankie Hickson is still a free agent.
Is he, eh?
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Didn't get picked up.
See, those are like the 3 weeks, 4 weeks into a season where it's like, oh, signing, yeah. I bet you he's keeping in shape.
Well, you got him out there. You've got Armstead out there. There's some players that are still haven't been signed yet that you got to think that they're just staying in shape, and then at some point injuries are going to get them brought in to some team.
Shea Patterson.
I think the Shea Patterson experiment is over.
Like man, he looked so good at times when he was going to be thrust in, and then it was just it's tough. It's not easy out there.
I don't want to say it's because I don't know. Like, I don't say he got progressively worse, but I think as teams got more film
tape on him, yeah,
it definitely didn't help him.
Usually the case, right? Yeah. With a lot of QBs, especially the younger guys. Hour 3, we are going to go back up to training camp, talk to the fellas, and then Patrick Mayo is coming by. We are going to talk PGA Championship, and does he have some sneaky bets to put down on the year's second major? It is the Sports Cage. Thanks to everyone who's following the stream. Colson appreciates the likes at sportscage.com. And we are on the home of local sports in Saskatchewan and the Saskatchewan Roughriders, 620 CKRM.
Hi, this is Perry from Nikki's Cafe and Catering. We love to support our local Saskatchewan farmers, and what goes around comes around. At Nikki's Cafe, we have over 15 individually packaged frozen meals at farm-friendly prices for just $10.50 each. You can even call and create a custom meal depending on your dietary restrictions. It's our traditional homemade comfort food on the go. Nikki's Cafe would be honored to help feed you and your crew during the busy seeding and harvest seasons. Find us at 1005 8th Avenue or online at nickis.ca.
Sask Lotteries has 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Help us grow the next 50. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Another one bites the dust? What a weird saying. Are they swallowing the dust? And why is it so dusty in the first place? So many questions. But what I don't question is where I get my tires. When your vehicle needs the right tires, see your local Cooper tire dealer. Your local Cooper tire dealer carries Cooper Cobra Instinct tires. They bring your car to a shorter stop on wet roads and have decisive maneuvering and sporty performance. Dust yourself off and ask your local Cooper tire dealer about Cooper Cobra Instinct tires today.
Employee pricing has arrived at Crestview Chrysler with the 100 Years in Canada event. That means $99 per week on a new 2025 Jeep Compass. Financing as low as 0% for 72 months on select Ram 1500s. Save up to $26,000 on the new Dodge Durango Hellcat. Or get into a new 2024 Dodge Hornet for as low as $38,995. Take your pick, boss. It's employee pricing. Only for a limited time at Crestview Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Regina, start your engines. Canada Car Matcher is opening its doors right here in your city at 1440 Albert Street. Drive the car you've always wanted. $25 gas card with test drives this month only. You can get 0 down, 0% financing, and no payments for 6 months. Plus lifetime car washes, lifetime oil changes, and a lifetime powertrain warranty. They're ready to match you with your perfect ride. Canada Car Matcher, your automotive matchmaker. Visit carmatcher.ca or at their brand new location at 1440 Albert Street in Regina. OAC, certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
It's Seco Days. Save big on your paint project. Up to 50% off Seco's best paints. Better the paint, better the deal. Don't wait. Offer runs May 14th.
From the towers to the tractors, country's greatest hits. 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station.
Good evening. It's 5 o'clock. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM news for Echo Sound in Fort Qu'Appelle. Stay connected with a new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. The Saskatchewan NDP is calling on the government to explain its long-standing contract with a U.S. law firm that donates to Republican politicians. The firm, Nelson Mullins, has worked with the province for 14 years and has been paid millions. NDP critic Mira Conway says public money may be indirectly supporting Donald Trump's political allies. She's demanding full details on the firm's funding and contract terms. The government says Nelson Mullins has provided strong support regardless of who's in U.S. office. Dozens gathered in Regina's Victoria Park today to honor victims and survivors of violence during the 7th annual Hearts in the Park event. Held during Victims and Survivors of Crime Week, the event focused on working together to end violence. Attendees wrote names of loved ones on paper hearts and hung them in the park. Speakers from local groups shared ways to spot signs of violence and support those affected. Saskatchewan municipalities can now apply for targeted sector support funding year-round to improve services through regional partnerships. The TSS initiative helps cover up to 75% of project costs to a maximum of $100,000. Projects could include emergency plans, land use planning, or training for local leaders. The $1.5 million program is part of the province's municipal revenue sharing and is managed by SUMA and other partners. The government hopes the open application process will boost cooperation and help communities work better together. The chief executive of ATCO Limited says secession talk in Alberta is already hurting the investment climate. The discussions have ratcheted up since the Liberals won a 4th term in office last month. Nancy Southern says she understands why Albertans may be frustrated.
We have had the short end of the stick on many occasions as a result of new regulations and legislation and rule of law. But I'm a big believer that this Prime Minister wants to change things, and I think we need to sit down and work together.
Southern says companies from overseas are having a hard time making big investment decisions in Alberta as questions swirl around separation. Canadian telecom providers say they haven't yet borne the brunt of economic impacts associated with U.S. tariffs. While the trade war has had some effect, such as a slowdown in international roaming revenue, economic uncertainty hasn't led to a significant pullback in consumer spending at home. Bell CEO Mirko Bibic says his company is staying cautious as the situation unfolds.
Clearly, economists are predicting potential difficulties. We're watching for signs of lack of consumer confidence and slowdown in enterprise spending. So far, it's okay, but we're not being cavalier about it is the way I would answer it.
Bibic and other telecom executives spoke today at a conference hosted by TD Securities. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
Oh, finally. There it is.
Whoa, did you order pizza?
No, even better. I called Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
Oh, so what'd you order?
Well, they have all the top-of-the-line smartphones with all the latest features and so many great plans, man.
Oh, nice.
Oh, it is the pizza guy. Hey, guy.
Tell him to go away. We're waiting on Echo Sound.
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Qu'Appelle. EchoSound.ca.
We'll still take the pizza, though.
Let's get out on the water. Now is the best time of year to buy a boat or pontoon at Kevin's Marine. Cast a line in a Lund fishing boat. Take the family out on a Four Winds boat. Or head out on a pontoon by Harris or Crest. Powered by Mercury Motors at the lowest prices of the year. There are manufacturer's rebates, dealer discounts, and low payment financing on a great selection of boats and pontoons. Plus Shoremaster aluminum docks and lifts. Kevin's Marine in Fort Capel. Enjoy your summer. Get out on the water. Stop by or shop online at kevinsmarine.com.
Weather brought to you by Line X Regina. Serious protection, killer looks. 1865 McCara Street. And Croft Electric. 27 years of trusted, reliable home, farm, and commercial service for all your electrical needs. CroftElectric.com. And you can find them on all socials.
Rain will be heavy at times through the night. There is going to be a decent amount of rainfall and some pretty heavy showers in the mix. Not everybody gets those heavy showers, but where they set up, we could pick up 20 to 40 millimeters of rainfall. The average, far lower, temperature down to around 3. It's a cold rain and a breezy day tomorrow, really adding to the chill in the air. Winds gusting over 55 kilometers per hour. Rain still heavy at times, though easing up through the day and easing up as showers entirely by Thursday night. The wind still quite strong. Even as the heavier showers diminish, we fall back to 4 degrees and finally break back out of the single numbers on Friday with a mixture of sun and cloud, 13. The wind lags a bit behind. It's still quite strong on Friday. Sunny sky on Saturday, 12 degrees. An increase in clouds on Sunday. We're dry through the day with a high around 15. Watch, though, for clouds to thicken up and some rain come in for Sunday night and Monday as temperatures get knocked back down to around 10. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm precision weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
When you want the best for your truck, you want Line X. Your truck has withstood the harshest elements Saskatchewan has thrown at it. Rocks, gravel, rain, sleet, and snow, and left with no chips, no rust. Line X protective coating keeps your truck's bed liners, rocker panels, and bumpers looking like brand new. Don't settle for Brand X. Go with Line X. It's serious protection. Come see why everybody loves taking their truck to Line X Regina for their rocker panels, bumpers, and more. Line X, make your truck complete. 1865 McCara Street.
Croft Electric. You've probably heard of us because we've been around for over 27 years. We do commercial and residential work? Yes. We do permanent holiday lighting? Yes. We do cabins? Yes. And farms? Yes and yes. We're an authorized Generac generator dealer. We are a full-service electrical company with the experience and the people to service all of your electrical needs. We are Croft Electric. We will be here when you need us. Do it right, do it once. Follow us on all social and call 306-586-1333 to book.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sportscage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Regina Motor Products, proudly serving Saskatchewan for over 70 years. Visit rnpchevrolet.com today. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sportscage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
First thing we fired would eat, and then we hired our block. Bring in Paul coffee, then goes against our stock. Illusions that someday we'd be in the fight. Now it's playoffs, and this is game night.
Yes, Oiler fans. It is game night for you and a chance to wrap it up in Las Vegas. Hard to fathom. Hard to fathom what happened in that Los Angeles series and how they looked at the end and what they're doing to Vegas. I don't know. I can't figure it out. Puck drop is moments away. We got a little anthem action right now in Toronto between the Panthers and the Leafs. I said to Luke, who's currently enjoying a shared nacho with Dave Thomas, because we can see the feed from Saskatoon. If Florida scores first in this game, and what is it, the Air Canada Center? What do they call it? Scotiabank? Yeah, it's always rotates between three. If they score first, won't that place be absolutely dead like funeral time?
If Florida scores first, the series is over. Sorry, Luke. I know you can hear me, but the series is over.
Series is over. And I'm curious if Max Domi, if he gets maybe a little Marc Messier style elbow at some point in the game or something there. This is a good watch tonight. Like, let's go. Western Pizza. Actually, Mrs. S was debating between Western Pizza and Taco Time tonight. Win-win. Blood work was this morning. Let's go. Go with whatever. While some guys just hammer the guac and their nacho platter. But yeah, if they score first, which we'll keep everybody updated here, very, very interesting. At the Centennial Cup, currently, it looks like the first period of play is complete, and Melfort has a 1-0 lead on De Valley Field. How it works, Melfort's into the quarterfinals. They won't go straight into the semis because they lost to Calgary in Game 1. Calgary gets first in the pool. But if they win this one, they will have last change home ice in the quarters and then a collision course, hopefully, into the semis. And Trevor Blevins, who's done an unbelievable job, recognized as top coach in Canada by the CJHL. I know he loves Melfort. He's a Melfort guy. He's been there forever. But when does he start fielding calls? Maybe he probably is.
I would think by now someone has picked up the phone and gave him a dingle and asked the question.
WHL, college ranks. You never know. You could go minor pro from there, make the jump. Great on Blevs. I don't know how close you've been following the Western Hockey League final, but they bus to Spokane.
Oof.
And they play yesterday. No Gavin McKenna.
Yeah.
It was actually Dustin Forbes texted me because we had him on the show yesterday. He texted me like 15, 20 minutes before puck drop. He's like, hey, I'm getting word McKenna's not playing. And I'm like, what? Really? So turn it on. I don't know, late first period. It's like 4-0. And then Caden Lindstrom got hit. Didn't look good. But they win 6-0. They quick loop back tonight in Spokane. But it's been a wild playoff Western hockey. And there's people like driving home or listening right now that remember, when would you have gone to games in Brandon? Like 80s, 90s, 90s?
Late 90s. We're talking like the Red and Schaefer years.
Yeah, so there was a little tighter then. They started kind of figuring out. But you go back to like some of this 80s Western Hockey League where, you had 9-8 games in like the playoffs and all that. And that's how it's been. But for Spokane to be shut out last night at home.
But the few times when I've been on and talking the dub, we talked about Lethbridge, Medicine Hat, Calgary. All three of those guys were wagons. It was just going to matter who was going to win the battle of attrition.
Yeah, and Medicine Hat getting those two guys back.
Yeah,
so yeah, that's game number 4 this evening in Spokane. What else haven't we talked about? Oh, shout out here. I didn't do this the other day. Shout out Fries Tallman Lumber, our First Nation athlete showcase, just all the athletes that competed at the National Aboriginal Hockey Championships. I know at sportscage.com we got a write-up. You can go there. The male side, they beat Ontario for bronze 6-4, and on the female side, Saskatchewan beat Ontario 4-2 for the bronze. So good showing there, Saskatchewan at the National Aboriginal Hockey Championships. Stories at sportscage.com. It's for Fries Tallman Lumber in Fort Qu'Appelle and Regina, where right now Trex Decking is on sale. One of the biggest regrets I have when doing our deck at home is I cheaped out. I'm like, I don't mind staining. I don't mind it. But now that I'm 12 years older and bending down to sand and stain is like a real project and it's a week to heal. What was I thinking?
You didn't think about future Barney.
Didn't think about future Barney. Barney's back, his knees, his gout. What else? I think I got plantar fasciitis rolling in.
Well, what is this blood test for? Do I need to be worried about your health?
You never know, man. It's a wild card. It's anybody's
You have
guess.
everything? You have everything.
I got, lupus? Is lupus on the board?
Yeah, it is the disease of many faces.
Great. Training camp report coming up. Puck is down in Toronto, 0-0, as we're just a little over 2 minutes into this. Oh, God, I so want to see the faces on Leaf fans. If Florida scores first, Luke's celebrating. They're having a snack. Let's go out to them in a moment here. We're going to go back up to Saskatoon for training camp reports. I'll recap everything. If you're driving home, we'll even go back and we'll talk about the guys that were released this morning. We talked about that in hour one. Also coming up in hour two, PGA Championship. You watch golf?
Yeah.
PGA Championship, second major of the year. Patrick Mayo is going to be back. Pat Mayo Experience. And he's going to give us the lay of the land at Quail Hollow, which has been really wet. And then some of the guys to wager on or to watch if you're just going to watch and you don't want to sprinkle. And then he always has a couple of long shots. And I saw on social media some of his long shots today. And I am definitely going with them because they're so long that if it happens on Sunday, I'm going to play top 10. Play him in the top 10. And then I'll be like, yeah. Sportscage comes through, Pat Mayo. We'll go up to training camp in a moment. It is a Sportscage. Oh, by the way, Colson said thanks to everybody who's hammered the like button on the YouTube channel at sportscage.com. He appreciates all that today. We are streaming at sportscage.com.
Hey Rider Nation, I'm Dave Thomas, voice of your Saskatchewan Roughriders. I can't wait to bring you all of the action this season here on 620 CKRM. But you don't have to wait for game day to get the latest on the green and white. Tune in for the Roughriders training camp reports for Red Zone Sports Bar behind the Saskatoon Travel Lodge at 3 on the Sportscage, or anytime you want at sportscage.com.
I'm Bruce Lowe with Ag Direct Hail Insurance. Back in 2014, we launched Ag Direct with the goal of changing the crop hail insurance industry by combining broker-free rates with superior customer service and professional claims handling. Thanks to the support of hard-working farm families, Ag Direct Hail is now one of the largest and fastest growing crop hail insurance providers on the prairies. Visit agdirecthail.com or call us toll-free. We appreciate your business.
Sask Power is working to improve the power system in your area. In order to do their work safely, they need to shut the power off for customers in Regina, east and west of Rochdale Park to Radway Street and Courtney Street from 9:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. tomorrow, May 15th, weather permitting. Again, the power will be out for 2 hours, 30 minutes tomorrow, May 15th for customers in Regina. For updates on this outage, visit saskpower.com/outages.
Ag in Motion is a celebration for Saskatchewan's ag industry. When we get into the field, farmers are invited to get behind the wheel in our Ride and Drive Equipment Demonstrations program for the newest machinery for your farm. Join us near Langham, Saskatchewan, July 15th to 17th. Get your tickets online at aginmotion.ca. Join us near Langham, Saskatchewan, only on Tuesday, July 15th. Get your tickets online at aginmotion.ca.
Since 1949, Nelson Homes has been providing you one-stop shopping for ready-to-move homes, panelized packages, and on-site builds. Nelson Homes' team of authorized dealers all over Saskatchewan would be happy to help you turn your dream home into a reality. In the Fort Capella area, call Calvin at 99 Builders or call 1-800-661-6534 for more information. Nelson Homes, trusted quality and service since 1949.
Howdy, Wood Country Woody again. You know, you and me ain't so different. We both love to sit on a sunny deck with a cool beverage instead of sanding the thing all the time. And when I heard TimberTech composite decking material is super low maintenance, well, that sold me right there. They didn't even need to mention that it features a sweet little hidden fastener system or that they also have the treated lumber that goes underneath. It's easy, it's pretty, it's TimberTech from Wood Country.
Your home is your castle.
In McLean, Estevan, and Tisdale, wood-country.com.
Welcome back to Sportscage. Get social with us. Follow us on X at Sportscage. Watch our video stream at sportscage.com and always on the radio at 620 CKRM.
You got any questions for the fellas up in Saskatoon from training camp? fire them right now. Prairie Land Rentals text line. Husqvarna days are on 20% off. Blowers, chainsaws, trimmers, all the way up mowers, and then zero-turn mowers as well. Get to deal with the owner since 1986. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. Split screen. Are they still munching on nachos? Let's see how they are doing. How were they? Big guac guys, right? You guys didn't go any salsa. You just went straight guac.
No, this is the red zone spinach dip. And, not only
with nacho chips, not pita chips. Oh, come on.
Are those pita chips or are those?
Listen to Gordon Ramsay. listen to this.
No, what are you running? What are you running there? Is that some sort of corn chip?
But the best part, this is infused with like cheddar and mozzarella mix. That makes it incredible.
Heated to perfect.
Yeah, heated to perfection.
Yeah.
Right. And Dave's got a chicken Caesar wrap waiting on him over there, and I've got the cheeseburger with a salad over there. So
I hope you
guys are chewing on paper and thumbtacks
and pickle juice
sweating pickle juice.
Can you go just for giggles? Go and give some blood tomorrow. I want to see what it comes back like after that spinach dip and cheeseburger.
It doesn't take AM. The blood
bourbon sauce.
Yeah, it does not take AM blood. Unfortunately.
We started the show. We talked about the guys that were released today. I think some people, the casual fan, probably a little bit surprised with Noah Zaire. Dave, we got a lot of offensive linemen there, right?
Absolutely. Philippe Gagnon, right? Comes in from Montreal, 10-year pro, and he's not taking first-team reps right now, right? Like, you look at the depth that is available on the offensive line and the number of guys that had an opportunity last year to step up and play. Nick Jones, we haven't talked about him. He started a couple of games last year. Again, we haven't mentioned his name, but he's still working hard, working and competing. You can go ahead down the line. Jacob Brammer, who's getting first-team reps right now, again, had an opportunity last year, got nicked up, couldn't finish the season. You're bringing back a guy like Jermarcus Hardrick, right? And then you bring in Sean McEwen, who, albeit injured right now, didn't dress or play today, and we'll have to wait and see what the status is of what he'll be short-term and long-term with a leg injury. But, again, there's so much depth, and
Trayvon Tate's looked good, and he's that left tackle guy. But and you got some length in there too, right? With Daniel Johnson and Jameer Ross Johnson too. They've been getting a ton of reps. I think that's sort of the magic that the Riders have to work with at the moment. Obviously, McEwen's injury is incredibly inconvenient. However, you also do get to start tinkering like they did last year with what your best combination is in injury situations, right? You've always got like injury situation 1, injury situation 2, and then worst case scenario 3, right? So you've got to know those.
And the one thing I will say and point out is that Joe Couch today, when I had a conversation with him, of course, he was released as well from the team yesterday. He says, I know that it's not personal. It's nothing personal. It's nothing that I did. And that's the same thing with Noah Zaire, right? How much time has he given to this province in different fundraisers and everything like that? It's nothing personal. It's just the crappy side of the business.
And it could be back at some point. Coach Mace, we have a clip here talking about the roster moves today.
Coming in, as we stacked the whole roster, we knew that there was going to be some really tough decisions every cut down, and yesterday was exactly the same. We really like our depth, man, at a lot of the positions. So I don't want to say that there's one specific spot. That's why we put everybody on notice.
And then he talks about the tough decisions that were made, including the veteran Noah Zaire.
Yeah, and I wanted to be very clear about that. It's a production-based biz, and these decisions are going to come, and it's going to be tough on us. But we feel we have really good depth, and we think highly of Noah still, man. It was just a tough one, man. It's just how it rolled for us. But I think Noah's a good player, man, and how this game rolls. You know what I mean? I'm sure he won't be waiting too long somewhere.
Hey, Luke, and you called it yesterday after the brouhaha, the tussle, that, good. Those are goodbye papers that you're writing, and Justin Jefferson was let go today.
Yeah, again, you can't – hold on. We almost scored on a breakaway and broke Barney's heart over there. So
no, you just had the crossbar save you too.
You have to understand that this is a business. It's the toughest job interview in the world, and every single rep that you get in practice is a bar of gold. Choosing to waste those reps and opportunities is the dumbest thing you could ever do as a professional athlete or somebody who wants to be a professional athlete. So you shouldn't be surprised when especially now in year 2 with Corey Mays, where there's a clear expectation on practice habits and execution. Wasting everybody's time getting into a fight and sacrificing those repetitions that get you put on paper. Crazy to me. It's crazy to me in a training camp setting that you would want to do
that. Were you surprised? You said you weren't surprised that Noah Zara was kind of one of the guys on the outside looking in.
No, I thought going into the season he was on the bubble anyway. You already had, of course, Logan Ferland. They brought in McEwen. They had Zach Fry on the roster. They brought in Gagnon. Plus, they have Johnson. They're Canadian. And then they went out and drafted Anderson. They already had the depth. So at some point, you want to see the Zach Fries play. You want to see that Daniel Johnson take the next step. So, unfortunately, I think Zer was on the bubble the entire time.
Dave,
I think that...
So go ahead, Luke.
No, I was just going to say, I think Zer is just the victim of the fact that there's a lot of talent on this offensive line in training camp, and you can't keep everybody.
We're still fresh here, and we're only sitting into Wednesday, and I think we talked about it in day one. And he had a whirlwind to get here. Ali Saad, first round pick. Last couple of days, has he settled in a little bit more? Is that a tough one to answer?
What I would submit is that day one, right? The guy had 7 hours sleep after traveling, after studying, right? I would submit that day one, his eyes were wide open. Day two, he straps the pads on, and, he brought every bit of physicality that he said that he would. And now, to me, he seems to assimilate more, not standing out for the wrong reasons. So I think that's a testament to what he's come in and what he's been able to do. But again, he does have an uphill battle because there is so much depth on that defensive line that it is going to be real tough and some real tough decisions to be made.
He's got some good athleticism, though. I will say that. I was impressed with his ability to stunt. They were working some twists and games today. And you've seen him in pass rush where he's displayed a really good sort of first step and can get to either side of an offensive lineman quickly. And again, I think that when we drafted Ali, the first thing I said is you're now about to get the best performance possible out of Lake Corte Moore, Benoit Marion, and Charbel DeBeer. I think that Charbel DeBeer's got to pick himself up here, right, and continue to press. I think that Lake Corte Moore's looked good, but again, that's what you get. Canadians, when they see their competition sitting right next to the locker with them, you get a little bit more out of those Canadians, and it's always been like that. I was like that as a player. The guys that I played with were like that as players than Canadians. So,
well, and just I had a conversation with Lake Corte Moore, and again, we know that AJ Ouellette underwent that amazing body transformation in the offseason. Lake Corte Moore did as well. He shed some pounds because he said that, while he was stronger, he felt he was losing some of his quickness. So he shed some weight, and then what he did was he changed up his repetitions in the weight room. So instead of going ahead and maxing out as far as endurance went, he went ahead with max lift. And again, just to provide that burst that he felt that he was lacking last year.
Yeah, speed and explosiveness is everything to a defensive lineman.
Luke, I saw a tweet from you earlier today talking about how with the retirement of Hadley, there's no one to push Lothar. How is Lothar looking this year? I know he went through that little stint last year where he just couldn't make a kick, and then he got it back by playoffs, but I know Rider fans have been looking for someone to push him for a few years now.
Yeah, I think that it's always a good idea, no matter who you have, if you can manage it on the roster, is to have a kicker behind a kicker. It just keeps you honest, right? And you can't. You've got to always. Football is one of the most competitive sports in the world, and again, this is the toughest job interview in the world. So everybody should be interviewing at some point, right? And I think that I get that Lowther's done a ton here, right? He's done a ton in the community, but the community work that you do is to give back for the opportunities that you get through football. It's not the other way around. You don't get to play football because you did the community work. You know what I mean? So I think that for Lowther, again, a guy, if he continually sees a guy behind him that's in there, and if that guy's practicing well and taking advantage of it, pushes you, right? It's natural. It's a good thing, I think. I think that, and again, I've always been a fan of it, and I think that it's one of the things that I would love to see. But again, I'm not the GM,
but
or the coach.
But when it comes to Brett Lowther, right? So last year he was lights out. After the 3-for-7 performance against Montreal, he owned that. He said it was on him. After that, he missed one field goal the rest of the year, which was a 60-yard attempt at the end of the Labor Day Classic. So to me, I would suggest that maybe there's some self-motivation in there that puts him in the right frame of mind, that he doesn't need that external competition. I know everybody does at some point, but at this place in time, I don't know that he does. And fun fact, fellas, if for whatever reason there was no kicker or punter available, who is the next man on the Riders roster that would be able to take a field goal? Any ideas? Like, remember Glenn Suter said, put your hand up for being a holder and whatever. Who's the next guy that's going to take that kick for the Saskatchewan Roughriders? Micah Johnson apparently would be all over volunteering, but it wouldn't be Micah Johnson.
Oh, yeah. Well, everybody's going to volunteer to be the kicker, but there's only a select few. I guarantee you, like I would look to the Lacombo guys.
No,
I would look to the couple of the receivers.
Kean Schaefer Baker.
No, Samuel Emelis. Yeah, and he could do it. And when he made that catch today, by the way, he got up and he punted the ball 50 yards down the field. Yeah.
They should have that. Let them boot one, right? Let's
a pass punt kid competition, right, in the middle of practice. Why not?
Hey, you did a good job last year at that Regina Thunder one.
Belichick always did that with the Patriots. What he would do is he would present the day an opportunity to have a day off if one of his linemen or big guys could either kick a field goal or catch a punt. And there's all sorts of clips where so now you have a lineman that has the team's fate hanging in the balance based on his ability to kick like a 35-yarder, and some of the clips are awesome.
That 2006 Doug Flutie drop kick that Belichick let him do because it was kind of the end and the first one that was completed since 1941.
Yeah, it was like 50. Yeah, it was like over 50 years.
Yeah, that was awesome. Go ahead.
You caught me off guard after you brought up the drop kick.
The drop kick, yeah, not a thing. We're more of a Rouge League. Hey, Dave, we're gonna you got another interview coming up here for us.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, with Sean McEwen going out, and again, the talk was the offensive line. So there's now 15 players that are vying for positions on the roster. And if you looked at it left to right today, left side, you got Trayvon Tate at the left tackle. Then at the left guard spot, you continue to have Jacob Brammer there. Then at center, without McEwen, you had Zach Fry and Philippe Gagnon that were taking alternating snaps or some alternating reps. Fry did get the majority, but Gagnon was right there. Then, of course, you've got Logan Ferlin and Jamarcus Hardrick. And I wanted to find out from Philippe Gagnon, who has not played a lot of center in his career, I wanted to find out from him what it was like trying to take on that role today at practice.
Switch sides of the line. How do you do that?
I mean, it's you got to do the extra work, and when you have to play center, then that really helps because you got to know not what just you're doing, but what everybody's doing. You got to be able to direct everybody to their correct assignment. So yeah, it's just you got to know, you got to learn the job, and then the more you can do, the better it is. The longer you'll last in this league, that's for sure. So you just got to
be ready for everything, like you said.
So when you're preparing with this group, it is a veteran group. There's a lot of guys that have been around for a while. Is that easier or harder? Because obviously you want to make sure you're ready, but also stand out as well and look good on film.
You know, there's pros and cons for sure. I mean, when you get into a room like this with a good group of guys who've worked together for a number of years, obviously they're used to doing things a certain way, and then they got their own calls, their own stuff. So you can't just get in there and then try to throw a wrench in the cogs. Like you gotta assimilate into this. You gotta really fit in with the culture, and then after that you can bring in your own experience in this. So it takes time to build chemistry, but these guys are all solid here. One of the best group of people I've ever worked with. So it's really easy to fit in with these kind of guys.
Can you explain that dynamic to me then? Because obviously you're competing for jobs, but you're also competing to be the best team you can be.
At the end of the day, football is a team sport, and honestly, the O-line is almost a team within a team. You can be the best damn O-line that's ever played, but if you're alone on that O-line, who knows what he's got to do, who can play well, then you're still gonna have a pretty bad year. So you can't be selfish. You gotta share those tips. You gotta help the guy. You gotta push the guys ahead of you. You gotta help the guys who are behind you on the depth chart, so they can push you. You gotta collectively make everyone better, because this position we gotta be 5 on the same page. I mean, it's one of the old saying is 5 as 1 on the O-line, is everybody's gonna have shared the same brain cell, if you will, and see everything the same way. So you have to do this work, and I think it comes naturally to the position because of its nature.
So there's two components of the offense that are behind you, the quarterback and the running back, and you have to get on the same page as them without seeing them. Let's start with the quarterback, because you've been blocking for a number of quarterbacks, from Cody Fajardo to Davis Alexander, now to Trevor Harris. Does each quarterback have a different element that they bring that you need to adjust to?
I mean, I think at the end of the day, like they have, they're all their own kind of player. They all have their own style, and then you gotta. It's the reality of it is the quarterback is much harder to replace than an O-line. As much as I'd like to to say the opposite, but it is true. So at the end of the day, whatever they want, we gotta find a way to make that work. We gotta find a way to make this our objective, our aim. So it's everybody's got his own style, and you just find a way to make it work, and with whatever they ask of you.
AJ Ouellette mentioned last year, and one of the things that really stood out to me was that I have to communicate better with my offensive line so they understand what I'm seeing and I understand what they're seeing. How open is that communication?
It's going great, honestly. I mean, it's and there's a lot asked of everyone on that offense, not just the O-line, not just the running back. Everybody's got to communicate well. Everybody's got to make those front IDs, make those signs, make sure that everybody, through whatever key that we've got for each other, that everybody sees the same thing and is expecting the play to go the same way. So this way, it's the only way to have success. If you got 10, 11 guys pulling one way and then 1 or 2 pulling the other way, then obviously it can't work. You're just working against yourself. So communication is paramount, and I think we've got a good thing going in that regard.
Philippe, I really appreciate your time. All the best through camp.
Thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, fellas, tomorrow is Thursday. What are we looking forward to tomorrow? What are your eyeballs going to be on, Dave, starting with you?
To me, I'm going to watch this offensive line, right? See who lands where and see what happens with an opportunity with Sean McEwen. I'm assuming going to be out again tomorrow, so I'll be watching the offensive line and see what they do and what the repetitions look like for all 15 of those guys.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Dave. I think that one of the things that I'll add is I'd like to see Jamarcus Hardricks and the DBs. I'd like to see their attitudes become a little bit more infectious. I'd like the level of practice noise and chatter to elevate a little bit. It's not a concern at all, but man, it would be great if it was.
I'm very curious to hear your attitude tomorrow, Luke, when the Leafs are down 3-2. But we'll catch up with you guys. So we'll have fun with the.
He's gone.
He's got a burger waiting. I'm surprised he lasted this long. To be honest with you,
I'm surprised he was there when we came back and they were down 1-0.
Yeah, Florida's up 1-0. 4:40 left in the first. Okay, Dave, have a good night, buddy. See you later. Training camp reports up in Saskatoon, brought to you by the Red Zone Sports Bar. It's located right behind the Saskatoon Travel Lodge. If you go there right now, you will see Luke eating a burger with his Leafs down 1-0.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports. Whatever your spring sport is, Extreme Hockey has you covered.
All right, yeah, Leafs down 1-0 to Florida. Also tonight in the NHL, big one in Vegas, Oilers, Golden Knights. Rick Tocchet hired as coach of the Philadelphia Flyers today. Adam Foote will be head coach of the Vancouver Canucks, and Ken Holland will be GM in Los Angeles. Centennial Cup, Melfort is up in their game. Does somebody give you a quick update right now? Live update from the commish, who's been texting me. 3-0. They win this one. They get quarterfinal. They get last change in the quarterfinal. Calgary is going to get first in Pool B. WHL final after a 6-0 drubbing last night. What does Spokane have as they go into Game 4 at home against the Medicine Hat Tigers? And the Blue Jays taking on the Rays today. They lost 11-9 yesterday. A couple of NBA games. Knicks at Celtics. Golden State at Mini. Now the PGA Championship starts tomorrow. Will you watch all the round? Just a couple?
I'll watch a couple. Probably hunker in on Saturday and Sunday. But.
I can't wait. Quail Hollow. I'm going to listen up. After the break, we have Patrick Mayo coming up. If you're like me and you want to gamble, he's got the inside scoop. He's coming up right after this. It is the Sportscage, streaming at sportscage.com.
Sask Power is working to improve the power system in your area. In order to do their work safely, they need to shut the power off for customers in Regina. 0 to 300 blocks of Cedar Meadow Drive, 1100 block of Blanchfield Street North, Blackwood Street North, and 64 to 6500, 67 to 6800, and 7000 blocks of Rochdale Boulevard from 1:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow, May 15th, weather permitting. For updates on this outage, visit saskpower.com/outages.
Farmers, grain, poultry, cattle, barn, house, and more. A generator is a necessity. Whether you need to keep operating during an outage, keep water bowls from freezing, grain drying during winter, or need power at a remote location, you need a generator from Shorty Generators. Now is the season to buy or service your generator on the farm to be sure you always have power when and where you need it. And Shorty services all makes and models, including PTO generators. Shorty Generators. Power where you need it. ShortyGenerators.ca.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Doug had questions, he talked to Brian Golly.
What I see with Brian is he actually puts in the time and he spends some of his own money to go to conferences and get the latest up-to-date stuff, what's going on, and seems to have a passion for it.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
I would definitely recommend Brian because he's done well for us.
Call Brian Golly of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533. For the leanest, meanest prices in the crop input industry, call Johnston's Grain. Johnston's offer the best prices in Western Canada on a huge range of products, including seed treatments, inoculants, glyphosate, pre-burn tank mixes, in-crop herbicides and insecticides, fungicides, plant growth stimulants, water conditioners, desiccants, and more. Johnston's has low overhead and top-notch logistics so they can deliver products at ultra-competitive prices. Call 844-324-7778 and ask to speak to an agronomist.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Some say the number 13 is bad luck, like walking under a ladder. Well, 13 is a very lucky number when you're talking Western Pizza, like their delicious 13-inch pepperoni from Western Pizza. That makes it, well, the luckiest number of all. Western Pizza, big on toppings, big on taste. Dine in or take out. Order today.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
Regina, start your engines. Canada Car Matcher is opening its doors right here in your city at 1440 Albert Street. Drive the car you've always wanted. $25 gas card with test drives this month only. You can get 0 down, 0% financing, and no payments for 6 months. Plus lifetime car washes, lifetime oil changes, and a lifetime powertrain warranty. They're ready to match you with your perfect ride. Canada Car Matcher, your automotive matchmaker. Visit carmatcher.ca or at their brand new location at 1440 Albert Street in Regina. OAC, certain conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262. Powered by Prairie Land Rentals. They've got everything you need for your projects. 600 Albert Street. PrairieLandRental.com. This is Sportscage. Watch our live stream at sportscage.com and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
All right, Dave and Luke got the day off now. Training camp report. We'll have more tomorrow. Maz is in, and we'll talk to the fellas up at training camp. If it's not fantastic that playoff hockey is on right now, if you're a golf fan, even if you're not really a golf fan, you just like to gamble on golf, it's another awesome weekend. It's the PGA Championship, the second major of the season, and it's at Quail Hollow in Charlotte. It looks really wet, that's for sure. It all starts tomorrow. So we thought, let's talk to Patrick Mayo again, because he was so good with Maz the last time. He knows his stuff. If you're thinking about sprinkling on this event, he's our guy. He's going to shed some light. All right, Patrick, thanks again for hopping on the Sports Cage. It's weird, right? Even I don't know how many years it's been. The PGA Championship has been moved to May, but I still feel like the PGA Championship should be the closer in like August or whatever it was.
Yeah, I always felt the way because it is the least important of the four majors, but this really elevated the PGA Championship where it was Glory's last shot and no one cared, and it was always sort of reserved for that player that couldn't win any of the other majors. Hence why you see like Jason Day has a PGA Championship. Justin Thomas has two of them.
Y.E. Yang.
Oh, well. When you go to toe with Tiger, I think that one counts for two PGA Championships. But here we are. Listen, he was inventing. He was the innovator of using hybrids in a major championship in 2009. Like only old dudes were doing it then. And Y.E. Yang. Now we're all doing it, us casual golfers. Yeah. But since the move to May, the PGA of America has really taken the opportunity to reinvent the PGA Championship. What I mean by that is it's hard now. It wasn't hard a year ago at Valhalla, and that was only because of the rain. It got so wet and so soggy that the greens just didn't play firm. So guys were taking dead aim at these pins. The difference between this week and last year, hopefully, is that there's a massive sub-air system underneath of Quail Hollow, so underneath the greens, and the rain stopped as of this morning. It was a torrential downpour Monday, a lot of rain on Tuesday, a little bit in the early morning today, and then for the rest of the week, it's going to be in the mid-80s, basically, every single time. Now, I have no idea what the mid-80s is. It sounds very hot. I think it's like 27 degrees, and there's not a lot of wind the first 2 days either. So all of that moisture is going to get sucked out of the course after Thursday. If there is a scoreable day, it is Thursday. And then after that, it's a long course, 7,600 yards, par 71. And there's a lot of hidden extra distance here as well. And they've grown this rough out. So they want the winning score to be right around -10. Whether that gets to -13, whether it's -7, who knows? But that is a real major championship. So, well, I did appreciate it in August. It's a better event this time of year. And although you still have the dinky FedEx Cup that no one cares about, it does seem like the season now ends with the Open Championship. And that's a banger to go out on because the Open rules.
Jordan Spieth, now we shift the pressure of Rory and completing the slam. Now the pressure falls to Spieth. Do you like his chances? He's kind of fallen off the map, the last little while.
Yeah, he's starting to play a little bit better. He had the wrist injury last year. He reworked his swing before that. I mean, he's won twice in 8 years, so it's not like it's been great for Jordan Spieth. I don't think there's any pressure on Spieth to win the PGA Championship. No one expects him to win the PGA Championship, so he's kind of free-rolling this entire thing if he can somehow win and pick up the Grand Slam. With Rory, it's just he had every opportunity over and over and over at the Masters to win. He finally got it done. But the knock on Rory is weird because if people call him a choker, he's a gagger. I mean, the guy has now 5 major championships before the Masters. He had 4 major championships. There's like 12 golfers ever who have done that. And most of the guys that we think about, like Brooks has 5. Brooks has been competitive at maybe 10 majors in his career, and he's won 5 of them. You never remember the ones where he just misses the cut and comes next to last. That never happens to Rory. The amount of seconds and thirds he was piling up over the past decade just made him seem like a loser. It's really weird. I always thought that if Nicklaus was alive today in the social media era, despite having 18 majors and his 25 second-place finishes at majors, people would call him a loser too. This is just how it works now.
Okay, do we like Rory's chances, though, with now he's completed the career Grand Slam? Because I hit that, what was it, the Rory Slam thing, like 3,300 to plus 3,300 or whatever it was. Does this course set up well for him?
It does. He's won 4 times at this course.
Yeah.
So he has a very good track record at Quail Hollow over the years. And when you take a look at it, especially with the rain that's going to be coming in, I talked about how long it is. If you do not bomb the ball off the tee, you are way behind the 8 ball this week. So the players who hit it the farthest are the ones who are going to have the best chance. I was surprised that Rory, I mean, it's not surprising, but he is now the betting favorite in this field. It's the first time that Scheffler has not been the favorite in any golf tournament that he has played in I want to say 2.5 years. He's still the second favorite. It's just not a great course for Scheffler. Obviously, he can still win. He's still the best player, but he doesn't have that extra distance that goes along with it. If you hit the exclusives tab on CoolBet right now, you'll find that I've actually boosted up Bryson DeChambeau. If you've been watching the Pat Mayo Experience on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube, we've been hammering Bryson bets for the past month. At this course, we have him at 18-1. We have him 16-1. He's now been bet down to 8-1 in all places, but under that exclusive tab, you can still get him at 9.5-1 to win the PGA Championship on CoolBet right now. So that's my gift to all the cool bettors out there. If they want a slightly better, you would have been better off betting it last week, but it's not last week anymore. You're here now. I think that Bryson wins this week. He is the perfect mix of everything that you need at this course, and the difference between him and Rory is he actually putts. He's one of the best putters in the world, a top 10 putter in this field. Sometimes Rory gets there. Most of the time, Rory doesn't get there. You can bank on Bryson's distance and his putting. Everything else in between is kind of up in the air. If he can just be average with his irons and his chipping, it should be good enough to win.
I was watching last night, and they were going through when Justin Thomas won here, the PGA Championship, and they show it. He hits it all over the park. He hits it in places, and he's getting bounces and all that. So a guy could spray it a bit on this course and maybe get some luck and still be in it.
It depends on where you miss. Like, there's not a lot of OB, but there's water on 7 of the holes, and it's usually down the left-hand side, which is not normally Justin Thomas's miss. He misses right. Scheffler misses left when he misses. Rory misses left when he misses. So you got to keep that in mind. I actually bet Justin Thomas as well. He's currently 19-1. Those are the big two. You got Bryson, you got Justin Thomas. One of these top 8 players is going to win. So the more you can get odds value-wise of those 8 guys, you got to do it. Thomas won here last time, although I wouldn't look too much at the 2017 PGA Championship when it was contested here. They had just done a renovation to the course, and it was in August. So it was all Bermuda grass at this course, and it was in the middle of a complete drought. It played as firm, as fast as it ever will. Now in May, it's not Bermuda, it's Poa Travalis, ryegrass. They can't grow out the rough as much as they did that year, so missing the fairways, even less important this time around. You can hit it basically from anywhere, and the greens are not going to be as fast. We saw a really weird combination of players at the top of the leaderboard. It was sort of the antithesis of everything that I'm talking about in terms of bombers. It was Patrick Reed, Hideki, Justin Thomas. Now, Justin Thomas does mash it a mile. Graham Dillette was actually inside the top 10 that year. If people still remember Graham Dillette, I'm sure you guys do very well. Right. But Kevin Kisner, it's just these short, Francesco Molinari, short hitters, great short games. That is not how this course is going to play almost 10 years later.
Okay, so I've dabbled in both. Do you like when a guy, and people out there that might just want to get in the game a little bit? Do you like playing the top 5 finishes or placing in the top 10? What should a person look at? And then maybe who are a couple guys?
I hate these markets. I play golf betting to win. I'm trying to increase my bankroll as we go through it. If you are, I bet this guy outright to win as well at 250-1. He's probably not going to win. But if you did want a long shot top 10 bet, or hell, even a top 20 bet, there's 2 guys that I'm looking at. One is Dean Burmeister. Mean Dean is killing it on LIV right now. And the LIV guys, well, maybe not the greatest players. Some of them still are very good. Obviously, Bryson's still very good. But Burmeister's been almost near the top of LIV for 2 years now. He was never a full-time PGA Tour player. He was a DP World Tour player from South Africa that they took, but he had been inside of the top 30 in the world rankings. Just most people in North America didn't know who he was. But his entire game is hit it as far as possible, smash your long irons. Guy can't putt to save his life. He was 12th at the PGA Championship last year, plays long, hard courses really well, an immaculate short game. So if you're looking for top 10 odds, that is a route where I would go. He's probably like 16-1. He probably pays as much as Justin Thomas does to win the tournament just to come inside the top 10. The other guy that I've been looking at, it's even longer odds down the board, is Eugenio Lopez Chicara. He was second to Ludwig Oberg in terms of the amateur golf rankings before Ludwig turned pro. They turned pro at exactly the same time. Now, when you take a look at Ludwig, he's 20-1 to win this tournament. He's competed in the Masters, almost won it 2 years ago, finished inside the top 10 this year. We consider him to be one of the 5 best players in the world at this point. Well, Chikara was right behind him. They were about the same as amateurs. The problem was he went to LIV. And he won his first ever LIV start as a 19-year-old or 20-year-old, whatever it was. And then he got into a fight with Sergio and got kicked off LIV, and he's been trying to grind back. So he's won on the Asian Tour at the beginning of last year. He won on the DP World Tour this year. He doesn't have a finish outside the top 20 in 8 months in any tournament that he's played in. I think he's 400-1 to win. He's not going to win. But a top 10, a top 20, now we're looking at 25-1, 16-1 in those markets. And he is a guy that very few people know about, but he actually has the talent to be a top 10 player in the world. It's just he's playing halfway around the world. No one really seems to notice.
Yeah, he might have played this week in front of me at the Royal. Who knows? How do you? What's the last name again? I got to write this down.
Eugenio Lopez Chikara.
Chikara. All right, I like that. What about Canadians? Quickly.
I like Connors as first round leader. I mean, you don't want to bet him to win anything because he doesn't win anything, but as first round leader, maybe he can do that. He was first round leader at the PGA Championship 4 years ago at Kiowa. He was second to Xander after the first round at Oak Hill 2 years ago. If he's ever going to win a major, the PGA Championship is perfectly suited to what he does well. It's just he can't putt, so that's going to be a real problem on Sunday.
All right. This is I'm writing things down here. I hope everybody else that's listening is. Give another plug for the Pat Mayo Experience.
Yeah, Pat Mayo Experience, the world's largest golf betting show, produced out of Halifax, Nova Scotia, formerly in New York, now in Halifax, Nova Scotia. It's more fun up here, I got to tell you. I'm close to Cabot, so I can get up there and play. They actually have a Cabot giveaway on CoolBet right now, too. If you ever, I'm going there next week. I play it twice a year because I live out this way now, and it's amazing. A trip for 4. All you need to do is opt in on CoolBet right now. I mean, you take some of these plays if you want to go do it, or just fade all my plays. Bet these guys to miss the cut if you think I'm actually absolutely full of it. But it's a great opportunity to go into that. But Mayo Media Network on YouTube, I do golf shows every single day. For right now, during major week, it's usually half golf, half NFL, and we're off to the races talking a ton of gambling all the time. And you can get that on the pod feeds on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
If it comes down to Sunday and Burmeister and Chikara are on 18 coming down, and I got them both, I'm going to send you a message and a big thank you. I might meet you at Cabot with my
you'll
winnings.
have enough money to fly out.
Patrick, always great. Can't wait for the next for the U.S. Open and chat then. Thanks for the insight and for being a part of this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
PGA Championship starting tomorrow. The Canadians, He thinks Connors, first round leader. I have to do some research tonight on that. Thanks to Patrick Mayo for joining us once again. It is the Sports Cage. We are streaming at sportscage.com and on the home of local sports and the Riders, 620 CKRM.
Sask Power is working to improve the power system in your area. In order to do their work safely, they need to shut the power off for customers in Regina Uplands. On the 0 block of Joe Jack Place odd numbers, Bauermeister Street odd numbers, 100 block of Fairview Road even numbers, and 900 block of Broad Street even numbers from 9:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. on Thursday, May 15th, weather permitting. For updates on this outage, visit saskpower.com/outages.
108 years, 10,200 storms, 63.4 billion insured. Yeah, this definitely ain't their first rodeo. Municipal Hail Insurance, Prairie Roots, Local Trust, Saskatchewan Proud, and providing coverage at cost. Without fail, Municipal Hail gives accurate and timely loss adjustments and prompt payments, cost-effectively reducing your risk. Storms are unpredictable. Municipal Hail Insurance isn't. municipalhail.ca.
So since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know.
That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
Employee pricing is back at Southie Mainline. This month, you pay what we pay. Enjoy massive savings or get 0% interest rates OAC on your next purchase. Employee pricing is in full effect at Southie Mainline for the first time in 10 years. And with our 100-year anniversary in Canada, Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and Ram is giving back with employee pricing on almost all new inventory. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to save big. The new King of Trucks in Southie, just 30 minutes north of Regina. Worth the drive every time. Guaranteed.
Sportscage continues. You can watch our live stream at sportscage.com, on our YouTube channel, and always on the radio. Saskatchewan's voice for local sports. 620 CKRM.
Sportscage on Wednesdays. Thanks to Regina Motor Products. Ding or dents, visit RMP SGI accredited full service collision center and body shop. Also, their new vehicles that are in. I drove by there the other day on the lot. Pretty swanky. Not the greatest weather. If maybe you bailed on men's night tonight, if your local golf course. Lots of hockey to watch, like we talked about. Oilers Golden Knights tonight will be interesting. Tomorrow, Maz is with you and Sharky. And, of course, the fellas will be up at Rough Rider training camp, so we'll be checking in with them a few times throughout the day. Also, Arash Madani and Glenn Suter. That is the show. Thanks to everyone who participated in the Prairieland Rentals text line. CNC, heck of a job on the other side in the bizarro world there today, and I will talk to you people next week.
This is 620 CKRM Regina, the voice of Saskatchewan, a Harvard media station. Streaming everywhere at 620CKRM.com.
It's 6 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the Harvard Media News Center with your 620 CKRM News. Dozens gathered in Regina's Victoria Park today to honor